This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA-Holes!
No way.
From the Sanosi 1.5K King Studios of Arizona, UFC 280 is here, baby. We're going to be talking bets, odds, predictions, the whole deal, live with the MMA-Holes. Yeah, baby.
Wonderful.
Welcome to our stream. It's Wednesday. It's wonderful Wednesday. My name is Chris. I'm your host, and we are here hanging with the boys. It's good to see everyone in the chat. If you could stop and hit that like button, that would be absolutely wonderful. We got UFC 280 happening Saturday night, and we're going to be talking bets and predictions and odds, the whole deal. It's going to be a fantastical show as the biggest event in UFC, well, this year at least, is upon us. We're all excited about the big fights between Makhachev and Oliveira and Sean Omalley and Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling and TJ Dillashaw. It's all going down. And tonight we're going to talk about the predictions, the bets, the numbers. I mean, come on. You ready to make some bets? You're ready to talk about gambling, you know, the G word over here, as we are. I mean, this card is one of those cards that it's a good time. From bottom to top, you can make bets all over the place. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a special, delightful guest. First time on the MMA-Holes over here. It's the Oddsmaker from Mybookie.ag. My man's name is Raphael Esparza, live on the MMA-Holes. Let's go. Welcome, Raphael. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Hey, man, I'm doing wonderful. Now, if you were Brazilian, it would be Rafael. Would you like me to say Raphael or Rafael?
Raphael, because then my mom will probably be very upset if you call that. The Raphael's a Spaniard name, not the turtle, named after the archangel and painter, not the turtle. But you can call me. I guess you can call me anything you want. Not Ralph. I hate Ralph. Sounds like something you did in college when you drank that much.
Well, okay, Raphael it is. Tonight on the show, this is very exciting to have you here. By the way, mybookie.ag, the promo code is MMA-HOLES for 100% matching your first deposit over there. Go check it out. I love working with MyBookie. The betting sites that we've worked with before, MyBookie has been the, I mean, it's not because I'm a little biased, but I have to say it's the easiest way to make a bet over here at mybookie.ag. If you could give us a little bit of a backstory with you and how you got intertwined with MyBookie.
Well, I worked in Vegas sports books for over almost 14 years. I worked for MGM Properties, opened up some casinos, worked at MGM, Bellagio, New York, opened up City Center, Aria. I was a director there, retired from there, and then I did my own stuff, became an independent odds maker, and then jumped on board with MyBookie when they wanted to do a little bit more prop betting, entertainment prop bets, political. So people just think I do MMA. I also do everything else over there, but strictly mostly like prop bets, MMA stuff. So and everyone can do a football, basketball, NFL, and all that. But I pretty much strictly do any of the prop bets you see at MMA, like who's Charles Oliveira going to fight next after this fight. Those odds usually come from me.
Oh, that's fascinating. Well, you're the perfect person to have here because we've had conversations on the show where people are like, how do they come up with these lines and these numbers? And, you know, people's minds are exploding. Like, first off, I want to ask you right off the bat, Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. Now, I thought for some reason that Charles Oliveira would be the favorite in this fight. Everyone and their mother's picking this guy. Now, I'm picking Islam. But a lot of people out there are picking Charles Oliveira, the athletes, these pros, these predictors, this whole deal. Why is Islam Makhachev the favorite in this fight?
As Johnny Manziel would say, it's all about the money that comes in. It doesn't matter what's your name on the back of your shorts or the name that's on your gloves or a jersey. It's all about what the money that's coming in. And if we made this, now this actually opened up around -150, -160 in certain shops. Quickly got bet up with Makhachev. He's probably going to, I would not be shocked if he ends up a -$2 favorite. Now, we're going to be rooting for him? No, we're probably going to be rooting for Charles Oliveira, even though some sharp action is taking that plus money right now. But a lot of the sharps early bet the -160. Again, it's probably going to get bet all the way up to -$2. Would not be shocked. The only thing that kind of hurts this card, and I'll say this now, it's going to be a 4 o'clock Eastern or a 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's not a normal UFC where it might be only battling 1 or 2 primetime college football games. No one's really caring about NHL and NBA right now because it just started. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much action this one takes just because of the time difference.
You know, it's funny you say that. I can't, listen, I'm happy that we're able to watch these fights live. It's in Abu Dhabi. You know, it's a big deal. But like you said, I feel like the juice is not there. Like, it's weird. Like, when Khabib fought Poirier, and that was during the day, all right, that's great. It was in Abu Dhabi. It was a big deal. But I feel like that juice wasn't there as if it was the prime time situation. And you're right. Isn't it going against college sports, right? So...
Yeah. There's some really big marquee matchup games that's going to be out there. Oklahoma State, Texas. I think Oklahoma's on that same time span around that game. But then, of course, the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock games, most of the Pac-12. Yeah, Alabama's playing Mississippi State on the same time. So that fight you just mentioned, got no action. I mean, it got some action, but if it was a, let's say, Vegas fight, it would have probably did 3, 4, 5 times the action it would have got. So, yeah, it's great for me. I get to watch all these UFC games, our UFC fights in the afternoon, early evening, and football, and then maybe have a nice quiet evening instead of staying up super late grading MMA parlays and prop bets. But I feel bad because this card's stacked. I wish, again, no disrespect to Abu Dhabi, it's a great card. I wish this game, I wish it was a little bit later because I think it would be, for us as odds makers, a lot more action would come in.
Well, this is fascinating to me. The whole betting scene is fascinating to me. So I want to back up a little bit. When you spoke about you working in Las Vegas, and I noticed you said ARIEL is one of the places, right? You helped develop. Yes. I stayed at ARIEL. It is a beautiful freaking place, man. That place is something else over there. So what is it?
You see this gray hair? It's because of opening up a casino.
That's great. So I got it. So how the hell did you get started in that? Like, what did your background and your schooling, and how did you just stumble into this?
No college degree. So street smarts only. Was booking very, very young age. Loved the industry. Got into Caesar's Palace in 1997, which were pretty much the home of Super Bowl prop bets. Caesar's Palace was. We were one of the small handfuls that had the first Super Bowl prop bet. Will William Perry score a touchdown when the Chicago Bears crushed the New England Patriots? And we got crushed with that prop bet because everyone bet William Perry the score on that Super Bowl. So got into it, and I always tell people I got moved up quickly in Vegas because I was single at the time and I had no kids. So I always tell people, if you want to move quickly up in Vegas casinos, sports books, anything, blackjack, whatever department you're in the casino industry, be single and don't have kids. Because no disrespect to all them, but I was able to work any shift. I was able to work till midnight and come back at 6 in the morning or whatever. I didn't have soccer, pick up kids. At the time, husband duties and all that. So I was just flexible. So they just kept on just promoting me, moving around. I kept on moving to other casinos with other management because they wanted me there. So that's how I got into it. And that's, like I said, 9 times out of 10, I'm looking at numbers. I don't care who wins the fight, who wins the game and all that. I'm just looking at what money's coming in and how I can balance the books.
Did you have a big sports background as a fan, or did you play sports? Like how did you get into that whole world?
I had to quit playing high school sports for medical reasons. So I always wanted to stick with sports, and I was always fascinated with the number side of it. And a good neighbor friend of mine was actually a bookie at the time. So when I was sick a lot, I would go over to his house, watch games, and kind of introduced me to the other side of sports. And so it always fascinated me with numbers and weather reports and injuries and how someone plays in this or how someone fights in a different state, training and stuff like that. It all fascinates me. And I love the research. I could research anything when it comes to sports, political odds, entertainment odds. I love the research part of it.
And were you a big gambler yourself, like when you got into this?
Not really, but when you're into this, you don't really gamble that much. I say I probably gamble horses and soccer probably a little bit more than anything. I don't really do that much of football. I really don't do too much of anything else. I'll throw a boxing if there's or an MMA if I see a wrong-sided or too much action coming in on one side, because if the bettors won all the time, the lights would never be on in Las Vegas, as I always tell people. So if I see something on the other side, I'll take a stab at it. But I don't really put that much money because I pretty much live it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you work in McDonald's, you don't want to eat McDonald's, right? Like, you get sick of it. Like, you're around it so much. I couldn't imagine wanting to gamble because you're so far into that world, it doesn't even make sense. So what about the stress? You talk about the stress and stuff like that. When you got your first job as an odds maker or within the casinos and stuff like that, and you're working with numbers, the stress has to be through the roof. So are you like clinching onto things, hoping that fights or games go a certain way so you don't have to worry about your bosses, screaming at you, why'd you make the number like that?
No, I'm very calm when it comes to that. I've seen other people, especially my old bosses, that would scream at the TV, that would tell, I'm a Cubs fan, and anytime the Cubs are playing on TV, the other odds makers and bosses would be like, hey, we need the Cubs to lose. If we hear you cheering, you're fired, like stuff like that. But the faces they had on their faces, they look like they're real serious. And I'm not like that because there's nothing I can do. Once I make a number and the money starts coming in, it's out of my hands. Just like placing a bet when people say, oh, I can't believe you told me you liked DJ Dillashaw and Sterling just beat the crap out of him. I can't believe you told me that and stuff like that. There's nothing we could – once you place your bet, it's out of our hands. Anything can happen. Some guy can get hurt. It's out of our hands. So it is what it is, and I'll take my lumps and go for another day if I get crushed.
And I'll get into the MMA stuff again, but I'm fascinated by you. I'm fascinated. So you were a single guy running around Vegas, and you were creating these numbers and everything like that. Tell me some good hookers and give me some good stories.
The best story that I must have told a million times. It's one of my favorite. Everyone says I need to write a book, but me and Floyd Mayweather almost went toe-to-toe at ARIEL, me and his entourage and me and maybe a small handful of employees going neck and neck. It was the Cowboys were playing the Philadelphia Eagles. They actually put the ball at the 50-yard line to get ready to kick to start off the game. Floyd Mayweather and his entourage come in. He wants to put in a big, large bet. I know it was six figures. I don't remember the exact, but I do remember it was six figures. I told him no because they were getting ready to kick the ball off. He's like, don't you know who I am? I'm like, I could care less. It's over with. And by the time we're going back and forth, they did kick the ball off. And so now I tell him, you can't place anything now because the game already started. He's just screaming at me, why don't you come around the corner and I'll take care of this. I'm like, I'll come around the corner. That's fine with me. I got a million cameras pointing at you. There's nothing you're going to do that's going to. So, yeah, that's probably one of the famous stories that I had of going almost toe-to-toe with Floyd Mayweather.
That's crazy, man. You probably dealt with a lot of people, big spenders out there that, want to lay down those crazy bets. How many times have you had to tell them, listen, we can't do this?
Oh, I would say probably at least 2 to 3 times a weekend, easily.
Wow. So have you ever dealt with guys like Dana White? Like, because Dana White, I heard he was bounced from casino.
Dana White, the Fertitas, they used to come to our books all the time. And the Fertitas, when they would run the Palms Casino, when UFC first started and stuff like that, they used to run across the strip to try to lay off their own action because they were their own solo books. So, yeah, I met the Fertitas, Dana White all the time because I used to go to all the fights, and everyone used to know me because I was, again, working for MGM and Ari. I used to go to all the fights. They would see me every weekend. And actually, Dana White got mad at me because I was watching one time. I can't remember what fight it was. I was watching HBO boxing on my laptop as I was watching UFC, and he wasn't happy that I was watching boxing during a UFC event.
No, and meanwhile, you could catch him cage side watching Canelo at his own fights. It's crazy.
Yeah, but this is many moons ago. This is before Dana White was famous Dana White.
Yeah, what a difference, right? Between him back then and him now, it's a whole different person.
Oh yeah, night and day. But I have to give him respect. He was always respectful to me. He always knew what I was. So he wouldn't come up and say hi, but he would do one of those head nods. He was always respectful, never disrespectful to me. So I would always say he was always gracious. And the Fertittas too. They were very nice to me.
So what about the stories about him being banned from casinos because they win too much? Have you ever been involved in any of that stuff?
We've banned there's quite a few people we banned for winning too much or stuff like that. But most of the people who get banned for winning, they don't get banned for winning too much. They get banned for doing something dumb that they weren't supposed to do to be winning so much.
Gotcha. So with the story with Dana White, would that be something? I mean, I don't know if you know, or aware of what happened with Dana, but he claims like multiple casinos, he just wins too much in blackjack and he gets bounced and he can't go back. Is that?
I don't know about that because, like I said, I don't know the blackjack rules and stuff like that. I know a lot of poker players because poker players and sportsbook players are like hand to hand. They're always together. They're always betting both sides. Most big sports bettors are huge poker players. I've heard of poker players. I don't know that much stuff about Dana White and blackjack stories.
Interesting. By the way, if you're just jumping in, we're live with Raphael Esparza. He's the odds maker at Mybookie. Are you the head odds maker? What's your actual position?
One of the head odds makers. There's other ones on there. Like I said, there's ones that specifically just do football. Or specifically do other stuff. Like I said, I'm the guy after you see political odds, entertainment odds, MMA stuff like that. That usually comes out of me because I got out of like the NFL and college football stuff when I left the MGM in Vegas and stuff like that. Because no disrespect to college football and stuff like that, I kind of wanted to bring new ideas to sports gambling.
You know, I tell people in our chat all the time, like, I'm not like a heavy gambler. I used to play a lot of poker, this and that, and I just really started getting into gambling with MMA. And when I made fun bets here and there and, team sports, I would do, not that great. But with MMA, I do great. Like, I can bet on UFC fights. I feel like it's so much easier because it's 1 versus 1. I know, people get injured and weird things happen, but I feel with team sports, there's so many things that could go wrong. So many players on the field or on the ice or whatever. Whereas when it's UFC, it's 1 versus 1. And if you know something about this fighter over this other fighter, it's easier to place the bet. What do you think about something like that? Is it easier with the UFC? Is it harder? What's your opinion?
I don't want to say easier. It's hard. It's easier to do money management. It's sports gambling, you could go up, I want $20. But if you really want to make a profit, maybe extra Christmas money, make a living out of it, it's all about money management. Mm-hmm. Now, would you lay, I'm trying to figure out, okay, we'll use the main events. Makhachev, like I said, you open up at minus 160. Now on Saturday, he could be -$2, minus 210. Is there any value in that? So you're going to risk now $2 to win or minus 200 to win 100 when you could have got it earlier in the week. Right now it's minus 180, minus 185. We have it at minus 160. Bet early. Why would you ruin your bankroll now Saturday? I just paid for the pay-per-view. I'm going to bet it. Now it's 210. Well, you had all week. You had a better number. Okay, if you do bet it, and let's say Charles Oliveira gets him on the ground, taps him out early, now you just lost $2 or minus $2 when you could have either lost minus 160. So it's all about money management when you look at 1-1. That's like hockey and baseball. It's all about money management if you want to make a profit. Because, Justin Verlander could be minus $3, and you bet that because he's playing a Little League team. Well, that Little League team can knock him around, and Justin Verlander goes out because of an elbow injury. Now you're stuck with that big number, and now you're stuck. So it's all about money management. But it is, like I said, I totally see where you're coming from about one-on-one. There's some certain fights where we're praying for the dog to win. I mean, there's a whole Gordon. We're going to be big Malcolm Gordon fans because on Saturday's card because Makhachev is going to be a huge ticket on a parlay. If he loses, we're going to be ahead of the game already because I can guarantee you there's going to be tons and tons of parlays with him on there. So that's why we're going to be huge Malcolm Gordon fans.
Yeah, I noticed that right before we went live, Malcolm Gordon at plus 671. Like, I was like, holy shit, that's crazy, man. But I mean, it's funny, and I'm just going to be as real and honest with you because I like to be real with my audience. Like, I'm just judging it from my experience over here. I don't like parlays. I can't stand them. I feel like it's a sucker's bet. Like, I feel like you're destined to lose with parlays. I understand people like to get the big hits. I love betting straight up. The slow and steady wins the race. I always win if I just bet straight up on fights. Yeah, I'm not getting thousands of dollars, but I'm 100 here, 100 there. It adds up. What are your thoughts on parlays?
My real thoughts, or what my bosses want me to say?
I mean, I don't want to get you in trouble, but I want you to be as honest as you can.
My bosses would tell me parlays are great. Everyone do them. Please no, but no, parlays are sucker bets. Parlays have been paying me to do this job for 20 plus years. I can say, yeah, everyone wants to hit the big bucks, but my big belief, if I can go to bed $1 more than what I woke up, I'm a winner. So why would you risk all these parlays? I see it all, especially in MMA. I see everyone will take every favorite, and not what like a 6-teamer, a 5-teamer. Now, if one dog wins, we're doing backflips in our back's office. We're doing high fives. If Gordon wins, I pretty much don't even have to watch the card as much as I have to, because that's going to wipe out a lot of big 6-figure parlays. Because I can guarantee you, Makhachev is going to be in a lot of parlays. We're talking probably $10,000 3-teamers, $20,000 4-teamers, and he's going to be on there. So anytime a two fighters plus, I would say plus 180 or higher win on the UFC card, we're going to have a winning evening.
Ah, it's fascinating. And I appreciate your honesty over there. Like, I'm the type of guy that goes to the casino, and if I'm playing 3-card poker, I don't do the bonus bets. I just feel like it's just throwing money away. I understand you could be a millionaire, if you hit, but the odds of it just doesn't add up to me. Like, I just feel like I'm losing more than I have a chance of winning. So, like, that's interesting that you say that. I understand why people do parlays, because it is fun. Too. Yeah, you get that rush, that adrenaline rush. I've hit on parlays before, and it's like, holy fuck, I can't believe that just happened. So I get that. That's pretty interesting.
My twin brother, big bet sports every game. He's one of those guys that there's a game on TV, he's playing it. He bets parlays, and I've been in the industry for 20 plus years. For 20 plus years, I've been screaming at him, do not parlay. Why are you parlaying him? So yeah, I totally understand why people do it, but at the same time, I guess, here, give me your $20. Let me flush it down the toilet. That's a 2-team parlay going down.
So are you locked into every MMA, like every UFC event when it's on? Are you plugged in saying, okay, let's go, watching the numbers, the whole deal?
Yeah, I'll be watching the numbers. And now some UFC events, I don't have the sound on the game, on the fights, because some of them are not as good as others. Because let's face it, if we're sweating a big football game, or I'm very intrigued with this football game, or there's a boxing match on, or something like that, or if I'm grading Halloween Ends movie prop bets, I have to watch that very thoroughly, stuff like that. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 TVs and 3 computer screens, so there's always something on.
Oh my God, that's great. Do you get like drunk while you're doing this? You get high? Like, what's going on?
I rarely drink during this time of the year, during football season and stuff like that. I usually have a cocktail on Sundays when the last football game kicks off.
And are you married?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No kids. No kids.
Okay. How long have you been married for?
20 plus. It was actually 22.
Wow, 22 years. What's the secret to a long marriage?
Me and my wife will both say no kids. It's the secret. We will both agree on that. Right there. And I would say probably we both do what we love to do. So she's a photographer, does outstanding work. None of us work for corporate America anymore. So I think that made us probably a lot closer, where we can just, do our own stuff, relax, and stuff like that. But I hate to say it, but I would think that my brother's got 4 kids. My sister has 2. All their friends have kids. And the stress that they have for driving to soccer practice and cheerleading and stuff like that, I would say that's probably why we don't have as much that family stress as a lot of people do.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if you love what you do for a living, it's like, I have one daughter, she's 17 months. I love her to death. But, it's stress. It's a lot going on, especially if you're running a business or whatever. It gets a little crazy. And
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if I had kids. I would be still at the Vegas casinos, corporate America, getting that cheap health insurance and staying instead of grabbing our ankles every time we pay our health insurance once a month. And so I would be, I don't want to say miserable, but I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, getting paid to watch some really bad TV right now.
Yeah. So does your wife hang with you while you're watching some of these big events and stuff like that, or she wants no part of it?
She'll go to a game as long as she can drink beer and have a hot dog.
Mm-hmm. So now, say if you wanted to have some of the guys over or something like that, can you actually do that? Can you actually enjoy sporting events, or it's mostly work?
I can, but I can't break away, if that makes sense. Like, I'm constantly watching an event, thinking about the next event that could happen. So like for Oliveira and Michael, I'm going to be watching the fight, and I'm going to be penciling who they could be fighting next in that number.
Fascinating.
And possibly where they're going to be fighting. Everyone, let's say if Omalley wins, everyone's going to want to know, does he get a title shot? Where's he going to fight? Who, where, when? So I'm going to be figuring out, okay, who's the top 3 fighters that he can fight? I'll put odds for those 3 fights ready to go. So I'm always kind of thinking ahead when it comes to a sporting event. So it's really hard. I mean, even everyone invites me over for Super Bowl Sunday. I'm probably the one of the, well, not me, most odds makers watch the game 4 or 5 times because we have to grade all those thousands and thousands of prop bets. So it's not sometimes. It sucks sometimes. Like, you just can't go to a game and enjoy it.
Yeah. So the prop bets. I heard on another interview that you did that's your thing, right? The prop bets are like something like those crazy novelty bets. Is that something you're still specializing in?
Yes. I got it. The reason why I left Vegas casinos because I was tired of the peanut butter and jelly books as everyone was just doing the same old stuff. My big goal is, how can we get people to get into sports gambling when the Super Bowl is over, when March Madness is over, the slow times on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in our industry. How can I get people in there? So that's why I do a lot of stuff like the Oscars, the Grammys. I do every WWE event. I do movies. I do Star Wars. I'm doing Game of Thrones. It's what dragon's going to die at the end of season episode 10 on Sunday. Will a dragon die? And stuff like that. I'm constantly, because granted, we don't take $1 million action, but I can guarantee you, if someone puts $50 and wins it, they may put $50 on let's say the Chargers to win a Super Bowl, or the Eagles to win a Super Bowl, or they'll put $50 on UFC Fight Night 213 at $50 they won. So they're constantly going to stay in our establishment because they won something on Tuesday, Wednesday, which no other book would carry.
By the way, we're live with Oddsmaker over here, Raphael Esparza. Mybookie.ag is the website. We got a promo code for you, MMA-HOLES, for 100% match in your first deposit over there, and it's actually pretty cool. If you want to bet outside of the MMA world, look at this. You could bet on Game of Thrones. I honestly didn't know that. I had no clue that you could do that.
So I just saw comments. People actually do bet WWE. It's probably one of our biggest prop bets we do, and I'll tell you right now, the pay-per-view events are not scripted. They're not scripted. I used to be a ghostwriter for them. I knew a lot of WWE writers and stuff like that. Most of the wrestlers do not know who wins their match until they walk out to the arena or during the match. The referee will tell them, okay, it's time to wrap up. So-and-so is going to win. And then the wrestlers will talk it out. So it's so close fought right now that if you see a wrestling, our odds, 9 times out of 10, 2 or 3 plus dogs win, because if we find out they changed up a couple of minutes after the fight or during the match, or Triple H says, hey, you know what, we're going to turn things around, you're going to win, blah, 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 blah. So they keep it very, very secret now.
That's fascinating. I'm not a WWE guy, but knowing that makes me more interested. Like I kind of want to watch now. So you're saying these guys could say, hey, it's a coin flip. Let's do the play fight, and then as it progresses, do they feed off the crowd, or do they say, hey man, the way the odds are right now, is it a gambling thing? Do they say in the middle of the match, hey, it's plus money for going this way, it's time to do the outcome of the fight? Like, is that how it goes?
Pretty much. I mean, again, we're not taking $1,000 bets, but I would not be shocked if back then, now that both AEW and WWE, who both reached out to me about gambling stuff, they know who the favorite is now these days. They want people to be surprised, just like everyone else. A good example is when Brock Lesnar beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania, gave it Undertaker's first loss. They fought back and forth for the whole weekend. But Undertaker did not. He wanted to lose, and Vince McMahon said, "No, you're not losing. You will not lose under my watch." They fought back and forth. They didn't know Brock Lesnar was going to win that match. 1 minute after Brock Lesnar was still walking out there, the referee told him, "Hey, you know what? you're winning this match.
Wow, that's crazy. That's pretty freaking wild, man. I never knew that. That makes things a lot more interesting. So, being in the gambling world, right? Some people are so turned off by it. You hear these crazy stories, like boxing, for instance. Like, there's been so many situations where I would watch an event, and I'd be like, this looks fixed. This does not seem real when you see the judging and the crazy stuff over there. Has there ever been a sporting event where you're like, you knew for a fact it was fixed?
Two things. The Arizona State college basketball scandal. They made movies about it. It's a very, very interesting movie. I would highly recommend watching. I can't remember the name of it right now. I guess you could probably just type in Arizona State basketball gambling scandal, and it would probably come up there.
Was that when the gangsters were coming in, like having them throw the games or something like that? Was that the mafia?
Towards the end, some of the so-called mafia came in, because I was actually working at MGM during that time. And they actually filmed some of that that movie that they made actually at the Mirage. And my boss was actually in that movie, because he's actually the one that called saying, hey, something's wrong with this game. He's the one that called the NCAA and the gaming control board saying, hey, there's something fishy about this game. You want to either check on that. But I bet you can, the number one betting scandal sport. I bet you don't know what it is. I mean,
I think boxing. I watched.
Not even close.
What is it?
Not even close, boxing.
Really?
Tennis. Tennis is the number one most fixed sport.
Wow. So give me an event that would blow our mind, like Agassi or something like that. I don't know much about
it. A bunch of small, very, very small matches, maybe like opening rounds, but never. I don't remember a big name, but a lot of the undercard tennis matches. That's hard to find, but those are probably the biggest. Some low key soccer matches. Ones. I think the last one I saw was an Indonesian soccer match that was fixed. But boxing, we haven't really had that much. I mean, of course, the referees can look kind of fishy. We can't investigate referees and stuff like that now these days. But I would say some of these MMA officials have been. It's getting almost head to head. I've seen some very, very bad outcomes at UFC and Bellator and won championships. So it's not just boxing anymore now these days. Mm-hmm. Sad to say.
Yeah, when you're making these odds and the judges are all over the place, like you're like, what the hell are they watching? You got to want to throw something at the TV, right?
It's probably one of the ones that's, again, I don't throw it because I said it's out of my control. Mm-hmm. At least when I know it's like a bad judging and the bosses want to scream at me, I usually will copy and paste a judge card and I'll send it to him and say, hey, wasn't me. Look at this.
Oh, I never thought of that. I thought of it in the gambling way, like when you're gambling and stuff like that. It's like, what the hell, man? Like this bad call just blew me X amount of dollars. But I never thought about it on the other side of things. Yeah, it screws up you guys too. Like that's pretty wild to think about.
Oh yeah, I mean the bosses always want to know. They could care less how much money you want, but when you lose, they want to know why you lost.
Yeah. So all these years, and I'm not going to get you whacked by saying any of this stuff, right?
No. I've been close by with a lot of mafia, Russian mob, all of them.
Yeah. Have you ever had a guy reach out to you and say, "Hey, man, I need the number to be like this. Can you do me a favor?"
Not in those words, but I would probably say a handful of people saying, "Hey, can you help me out here?"
Really?
We'll pay you this. We'll pay you this.
Wow, that's pretty wild. Any family ask you like to pull some strings?
No. Tickets, free tickets. Yeah. Do you need someone to go to this fight? I'm in town. Can you give me some free tickets? That, but yeah, no one ever family wise and stuff like that because I think they know that.
Mm-hmm. What is like the best event that you ever went to live that you saw live?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say the WrestleMania at Caesar's Palace, because when Hulk Hogan came out, you thought Jesus walked out because it was just so loud. But probably the most memorable, and I still have, I don't want to say nightmares, but I still have the day Tyson bit Holyfield's ear and Tupac died. I was at MGM working that day, and it was just complete chaos.
Wow. Oh, my God. That must have been nuts. So you were working for MGM?
Yes.
Oh, my God. And how old were you then? You must have been young.
Yeah, geez. Well, I'm almost 50, so I'm young.
I mean, yeah, that seems. I mean, it seems like yesterday, but that was a little while ago when Tyson did that. Ripped the ear off.
Yeah, I would say when Tyson fought, it was always events. I would say the funniest weekends was when Ricky Hatton would fight in Vegas, because it was almost when Ricky Hatton pretty much invented Conor McGregor and his fans coming to Vegas. When Ricky Hatton used to fight in Vegas, they would all just scream and dance on the strip. And then McGregor's fans started doing the same thing. But I think if it wasn't for Ricky Hatton, I would think Conor McGregor's fans wouldn't be as so vibrant when they're in town.
Oh, yeah. Conor wasn't the first. He definitely wasn't the first to do it. Although I've been to Conor events and I couldn't believe it, man. Like the crowd, the people in the streets after the events, like just dancing, and it's just nuts, man. It is crazy.
When he fought Mayweather, that was crazy.
Oh, yeah. So were you at that event?
Yes.
Wow. So that place must have been buzzing, huh?
Yeah, it was weird. Even the Oscar De La Hoya days when he would fight, I would say East LA was always empty because they were all in Vegas. So, but yeah, those were days. But yeah, McGregor Mayweather was a very interesting crowd because it brought MMA crowd to boxing crowd. So it was very, very. I saw some better fights outside the T-Mobile Arena than I did inside.
I bet. Oh man. So now you're strictly Mybookie, right? How long you been with Mybookie?
Wow, I think almost 7-8 years. It's been a while.
And to those of you, those are the people out there that are trying to, look into, sports betting and stuff like that. Why would you say Mybookie is better than the other websites out there?
I mean, I've heard our customer service is outstanding. I like the way the site flows. It's just really, really easy to navigate the site. I mean, there's some sites where even I go in there to try to look at some stuff and I get lost. I like how our site makes it just really easy. Click on there, a drop box comes down and stuff like that. Now, I know we have some issues with the app. I have no idea what's going on with that one, so don't say, hey, you guys I can't get stuff on my phone. They're working on that, but I strictly do on the site itself. I don't use my app because I can't change a number on my app. I have to actually log in.
There you go. Okay. And so let's talk about your little UFC 280. By the way, we're here with Raphael Esparza, Oddsmaker for MyBookie.ag. And if you need the promo code, it's MMA-HOLES for 100% match on your first deposit. What do you think about Colby Covington? I see him running around doing those ads for you guys with the girls by the pool and stuff like that. You got a good relationship with Colby?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been kind to me, and I know people sometimes like him, some people don't like him. For me, again, if you're going to treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect, and he's nothing but been kind and respectful. We go back and forth on DMs. If I see him with a cool Mybookie robe, I'll shoot him a DM. Hey, where's my robe? Can I have that one? And so, we'll go back and forth on that one. But like I said, I'm nice to everyone as long as you're respectful of me, and he's been nothing but respectful. And I know people hate him, people love him, but for me, he's been nothing but nice and respectful.
I've heard from many people. We haven't had him on our show, but I've heard many people out there that are in his circle or just cool with him. He's said nothing but nice things. It is weird. The only weird thing is his gym. Like it's weird that he keeps having these falling outs with these gyms and stuff like that. But friends and other teammates, it seems like everyone says nice things about the guy. So maybe it's all shtick, right?
Yeah, I said, sometimes I see these fighters that act like they do and stuff like that, and then I see them backstage or at a restaurant or a book by themselves. They're totally different people. So sometimes I think some people act differently when the media is there, and then when they're by themselves or the camera's not on them, they're totally different people.
And how did you become the guy for the MMA portion of Mybookie? Like, how did you be that guy?
I think because when I was in C's, I mean, I remember being booking all the early fights up in Vegas. I mean, I remember UFC 100 when I remember Brock Lesnar, his first fights there and stuff like that. So I was always there because I was always working for MGM, where I can just walk out of my office, walk the back way, and there I am. And there's the octagon and stuff like that. So I think word of mouth, and then when I left Vegas sports books, people knew that I was on my own doing my own stuff. So I have a feeling a lot of that probably had to be word of mouth.
Interesting. So it seems like you know all the right people. You've kind of fell into a good spot over here since you've been with Mybookie for so long. All right, so enough about you, man. Let's talk about these fights, okay? What do you say?
Cool.
Okay. The main event. Let's start off right off the bat with the fight that so many people are talking about. People are yelling and screaming about this matchup. But I see Charles and Islam in the hallway. They're just completely cordial. A lot of respect from the two guys over here, but the fans are going nuts. People are yelling, this one's going to win, that one's going to win. I want to know, as just a fan of the sport, if you could remove your Oddsmaker hat and just look at this fight, how do you see it going?
As an odds maker, we're looking for a big Oliveira win, but I think it's going to be a close one. I can't believe the round prop is 1.5. I mean, the people are betting it over. I know some places have a 2.5 and stuff like that. I would not be shocked if this one goes late, maybe the third, fourth round. I just think it's maybe the first round might be a little bit, dull. They're just trying to figure out each other. I don't see a quick stoppage on this one. I love Oliveira. I think he's probably a top 5 fighter in UFC, so I would not be shocked if he wins it. We're going to be big fans of him, so I can guarantee you I'll be cheering for that one. I'm actually more excited for Dillashaw, Sterling, and Omalley. I mean, no disrespect to this main event, but give me the other 2 cards. Even Darish, I think his fight's going to be actually really good too.
That's interesting. So you're saying that you're more interested in, the under guys over here, Sterling, Dillashaw, Jan, Omalley, and Dariush versus Gamrot's not getting enough love. It's kind of crazy. No,
this one will be a headliner in any fight nights or Apex Center easily.
Mm-hmm. And so, it's funny, so I was looking at this myself. I like Islam in the main event. My co-host likes Charles. So we're split down the middle on this one. And she's very confident that Charles is going to get the dub on this one. Me, I kind of like, as an underdog over here, I don't hate TJ. I really don't. I when I see him with plus money over here, this guy is the former champion. I know Aljo's looked really good. He's a very intellectual fighter. But at the same time, I mean, TJ with plus money is really tough not to take.
Yeah, I agree. It's the plus money screams at me as well. But that's one gonna be a tough one. I've been telling people maybe just sit back and enjoy that one. Maybe just you don't have to put action on that one.
What do you think about this risky one over here with Sean O'Malley? Now, I understand why he's a massive underdog, but at the same time, I mean, he's been on fire. Maybe he is the real deal over here. Would that be a scary one to drop a couple bucks on?
We will be probably Yan fans for this one, even though he's a big favorite. He opened up minus 350, so his numbers continues to dwindle down. I would not be shocked if he ends up around 240. Maybe even 235, because I think a lot of money is going to continue to come in on O'Malley. And let's face it, I think what I've understood from some of UFC execs, they would really love to see O'Malley win because he might be the next big name in the company that can sell tickets, sell T-shirts, maybe sell wigs for Halloween. I could see a lot of money being continued to pile on O'Malley. So if you like Yan, wait, because you could probably get a better number. I would say probably at noon on Saturday.
Interesting. So, it's funny. There's no doubt about it that the UFC wants O'Malley to win this fight. There's not a doubt in my mind. The way they're marketing it, they're saying this fight's like McGregor versus Aldo, which I don't think it is, to be honest. I mean, McGregor Aldo was for a title fight. He was fighting Jose Aldo, who was the GOAT of 145. I feel like it's completely different, but O'Malley does have that it factor. So I could understand the comparison to McGregor there, but McGregor Aldo, I feel like that's a little extreme.
Yeah, I would agree. It's not that. I mean, I totally agree with you. I think UFC is trying to bank on O'Malley. They would love for him to win this one. I think that's why I'm a little bit shocked on how high they made this number, knowing that money was going to continue to come in on O'Malley. So maybe they think Yan can easily walk through this one, and maybe O'Malley is just his name and not the fighter, which I totally agree. I think his length, especially in his kicks, are going to be a problem for Yan, especially his height. So I think that could be a fault right there. This one's going to be a fantastic one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm rooting for this one as fight of the night, but it would not shock me.
Yeah, when we were doing polls, it seems like our audience, I mean, I understand why they're picking Yan. I get it. I completely get it over here. O'Malley's got a real tough hill to climb with this guy. It's a big step up in competition. The interesting thing with me is I understand waiting not necessarily is the best thing to place a bet, but I always love to see the face-off, the weigh-ins. I feel like the weigh-ins are very important. You know, like when they hit the scale. So how risky is it? Like, when would you say you got to get that bet in early?
I agree with you. I think weigh-ins. I learned that lesson when I first started doing boxing lines up at MGM. You don't want to take the house when you first put the number up. You'll start taking the heavy bets after the weigh-in, because then the public would tell you, especially the wise guys would tell you who they're going to lean at after the weigh-in. So that's probably one of my biggest things is don't take the house when you first put the number up. Start taking the house after the weigh-in, because you can see the weight cuts, how they look, face expressions, everything after the weigh-in. So I'm a big guy that's looking for the weigh-in and trying to see where the number is going to go.
Interesting. Yeah, because I mean, with team sports, I get it. If you think the line is in your favor, you place that bet early. You try to lock it in at a number that you like. But I'm willing to take a gamble here because, like I said, like when you see those guys on the scale, or sometimes when you just see them face to face, you can pull a lot of information just by them looking at each other. Who's more nervous, the pressure, you know? And like you said, boxing too, I could see the same thing.
And how bad their weight cut was. You can tell by just face expressions. I always tell people, if you want to see how bad their weight cuts, look at their eyes. Okay? Don't look at their cheeks or what they look like on muscle tone and how they're walking. Look at their eyes. Their eyes will tell you a lot.
Is there a fight that just jumps out to you on this card that you say this is a fight to pick on UFC 280?
I would say Sean Brady. I mean, there's bad blood going in there. The number has not really moved that much. Opened up at minus 135. Now it's pretty much minus 140, minus 145. I'm a little excited for this one. I think this one screams again. I said one already Friday night, but this one screams a really, really good one, and we might be talking on Sunday and Monday about.
Interesting. It's funny. Bilal Muhammad catches a lot of heat for being quote unquote boring. And Sean Brady's got that very strong grappling pedigree, but they might nullify each other. This thing it might be they might just leave it on the feet. And if that's the case, I mean, this could be a banger. Or
they can be on the mats and flipping the channels and seeing what other football games they're doing.
That's what a lot of people think is going to happen. Yeah, a lot of people think they're just going to be hugging the shit out of each other. But, Bilal Muhammad's now training with Khabib. He's with that team over there. So he's with some real savages. It's a fascinating fight. Very fascinating.
I wish Khabib would just gain a whole bunch of weight. But then because I'm tired of people saying, when are you going to put up some Khabib odds? Is he going to come back? Just like the GSP. GSP's never coming back. Khabib's never going to come back. So I just want him to come out with another fighter, and he looks like he weighs 250. So I can finally, it's like, he ain't coming back. I want him to look like DC. He ain't coming back.
I like the way you say Khabib. I like it. When you say Khabib?
I don't know. I just drank a drink of water, so I might have.
I like that. We got an alert coming in from our audience over here. Let me play this really quick. Okay. This is from Tropic Tom.
Is he related to the Cookie Monster, and did he help her get the win? Does he root for Carla?
So, Carla Esparza. They want to know if you're related to the champion, Carla Esparza.
No, but I used her name to get a better seat one time. I can't remember when she fought. I think it was her first fight at the T-Mobile Arena. I actually went there to actually pick up my tickets, and they're like, "Oh, why are you not sitting with the family?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just had tickets." So like, there's a couple of tickets left over. You want to just move you over? I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
That's awesome. So
I just showed them my driver's license, and they saw the last name. It's spelled the same. So and actually, my older sister that lives in Phoenix is named Carla, but she spells it with a K.
Oh, so you got family in Arizona too?
Yeah.
Well, where are you at now?
I live in Vegas and in New Orleans.
Oh, nice. Oh, man. Look at you. Why have kids? Vegas and New Orleans. I mean, geez. What a life.
I'm too old to have kids, but
I tell you, you're living the dream, man. It's almost like you don't have to grow up. You could just do what you love. Your wife's doing what she loves. That's great. What a life.
It is 7 days a week, 365 days. I work on my vacation. That's the only bad part, because if I'm not, someone else is doing it, and you never know when someone else can do it better than you.
Are you the guy if you're at a resort, you're on vacation or something like that? Are you got the swim up bar, looking at the scores, keeping an eye on what's going on?
No, when I'm on vacation, I'll work Like the wife will go to bed and I'll work like 2 to 3 hours and then go to bed and then get up super early, work until like breakfast. And then once I'm done with breakfast and all that work, I'm good for until the evening when I come back into the room and she goes to bed and I'll tackle the job.
When you're throwing props and all these numbers at, you know, your coworkers or whatever, do you ever have like massive arguments with them saying like disagreements on where lines and numbers should be?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, if it wasn't for arguing with someone, but that's good because sometimes someone can catch your mistake. Something can look at totally different. Someone can say, "Hey, you're crazy. I think the public's going to hit you this way." It's like I said, I'm not even close to being perfect. Not at all. I've made many mistakes in gambling, setting numbers, posting scores. I have made mistakes where I've cost companies more than just $1. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Oh my God. I couldn't imagine that stress. It's got to be wild. I mean, you have an awesome, cool job, but at the same time, the stress in certain situations has got to be nuts. So what do you do to deprogram?
Watch movies and think about the next betting profits. I mean, that kind of stuff, like I said, that doesn't stress me out when I'm watching. I did an interview today with a Michael Myers interview because the last movie just came out, Halloween Ends, and a guy that I did an interview for a magazine wanted to know odds on will Michael Myers come back to another movie? Would they make another Halloween movie? How would I do that stuff? And how many kills would he have and stuff like that stuff. That stuff relaxes me. I love watching the movie and thinking about stuff that no one else would think about. So that kind of stuff relaxes me. I don't think about the stress part on that one.
That's got to be fun.
When I do political odds starting next weekend because of a big election coming up in November, that's stressful. That's the last president election was probably 5 Super Bowls in a 48-hour day.
Wow. So it's always changing. So it's not just MMA or sports. No. You got so much going on.
Yeah, I wish I was just one thing.
And so the Halloween movie, I literally just did a stream bashing it. I couldn't stand Halloween Ends. What did you think of it?
I had to watch it 4 times because someone was disputing one of my prop bets, and it was. I understand why they did it. I totally understand why they did it. But it was still bad. It was
basically a setup. Like, to me, I won't spoil anything, right, to people that didn't see it out there. But I felt like the movie, like, it was supposed to be the conclusion, right, to this so-called trilogy. But all it was a setup to, like, the next chapter of whatever else they're going to do, right? Did not feel like that?
Yeah. I mean, it was the end for Laurie's character. I mean, let's face it. I think it's not ruining that. Anyone can read an interview and say that she's not going to do another movie, so... it was an end for that, but yeah, I agree. It was a very, 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 very bad movie.
Interesting.
I do a lot of stuff for the Razzies, and I would have to put that one up there as maybe for an Razzie award.
It's so bad. We got another alert here. This is from Pulse coming in. Pulse, what do you got to say?
Does Raphael have any thoughts on Tim Donaghy influencing NBA games, and has he ever met Michael Franzese?
So Tim Donaghy influencing NBA games, and have you ever met Michael Franzese? I don't
know. That name doesn't sound familiar. I've had seen the NBA ref around there. I don't like to mention his name because I thought he would put a big black eye in our industry, so I will not mention his name. But I think it damaged it. But like I said, we police college basketball, NBA, all these stuff like that. It really didn't damage us because, like I said, we police it. We know when there's something fishy about it. Money's going to tell you if the fix is in. People say, oh, this game was fixed. And then I'll look at the money. Well, we got two-way action. One team brought in $10,000. The other team brought in $11,000. If the fix is not in, and when you have two-way action, now one team brings in $10,000 and the other team only brought in $20, then you can start thinking, okay, why is that? Then the fix is in. So we had to do a lot of heavy research on all his games he refs, and there wasn't that many of big discrepancies on what he ref. But again, I don't mention his name because he did put a big black eye in our industry.
Has there ever been either a celebrity or an athlete that you met and were so disappointed in? And on the flip side, have you ever met a celebrity or athlete where you were surprised how nice that person was?
Oh, Roger Clemens, one of the nicest athletes I've ever met. We got informed that he was coming into the book, he was going to play some horses and stuff like that. And we all knew at the time. We all knew how he was, and just the incidents that he's had. We all heard his stories. Man, it was totally different with him. He was just one of the nicest guys. He treated all my employees with nothing but respect. He would win a bet, give the employee a high five, and stuff like that. He was one of the nicer guys that I ever met in a sports book. So, like I say, never judge a book by its cover, because I was totally wrong with him.
It's funny, yeah, Roger Clemens, the first thing I think of is Piazza and the whole bat incident. And
yeah.
That's the first. I always think about that. Or when he showed up, he was in the booth, and Susan was like, "Oh, my God, it's Roger Clemens." I don't know. Anyways, that's baseball. People in the chat don't know what the fuck we're talking about. What about someone that you met that you're like, "Oh, my God, I can't believe how nasty this person was"?
I would say a lot of wrestlers. Back when I was at MGM, we would host WCW's Halloween Havoc. I'm aging myself right there. And these wrestlers would go to the club and they would get hammered. And I was a late guy. I was a late shift guy. So I would be closing the book and they would just be hammered. So there's a numerous around it. But I would say nothing beats my Floyd Mayweather story. Just in how he thought, just because of his name, he can do whatever he wants and stuff like that. But I would say a lot of famous athletes' wives and girlfriends are probably high up in the list.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, they all think they're entitled, and it's crazy. So what do you think about Vegas? Like living in Vegas and stuff like that. Do you think that's still the place to be right now? I used to go to Vegas all the time. Is it changed?
Oh yeah, I went. That's why I don't live there full time anymore. It's like California East. Now that the Raiders are there. We have a hockey team there. We're probably going to have an NBA and a baseball team. The traffic's horrendous. It's corporate Vegas. When I first got in this book, where every casino did their own numbers. Now you just walk the strip and there's pretty much 3 places that do numbers. Every book has the same number. So there's for a sports book guy like me, how am I supposed to shop around if I'm looking for the best number to try to fight AJ Sterling, TJ Dillashaw, and there's only 3 shops in the whole state? I'm not going to find a good number. So Vegas is corporate America. I liked it. I hate to say it. I wasn't in there when the mob ran it, but I've heard nothing but good stories. When the mob ran it, there was no kids, there was no violence. Everyone wore a suit and tie in the casino and stuff like that. Where now it's like I said, it's Wild West some weekends.
The homeless too. I couldn't believe it. The homeless is really picked up over there too. It's a shame. You know, when people walk in the I mean, I guess homeless has always been a thing in Vegas, but it seems like more than ever right now.
Yeah, I would say, I've been to a lot of cities the past couple of months, and homeless is bad everywhere.
Joe Biden, is that his fault, or what do you think?
Everything is his fault. I just did a whole bunch over the summer. I did a whole bunch of gas prices, prop bets, and food prop bets and stuff like that. And everyone from England and Ireland would tell me, they're like, "Oh, we would gladly pay that price for gas or bread and stuff like that." And I would tell them, I didn't know Biden was influencing over there in England and Ireland too.
That's crazy. To people that want to visit Vegas, what would you say would be the best casino to go to, like like to stay at?
I'm biased. I would say ARIEL, just because I helped pretty much build it almost, at least a sportsbook area. I would say there's really no good. I would say ARIEL, I like Cosmo. It has a lot of good amenities. Downtown is starting to be really, really good and stuff like that. But if you're going to Vegas, don't eat on the strip. Ask a local, where's a good place to go? There's a lot of good restaurants in Spring Mountain, a lot of good Chinese food and Vietnamese food and Mexican food, but they're not on the strip. You're going to pay $200 to $300 for you and your significant other to eat, when you can go somewhere off the strip and get a better meal and pay $150, $165. So if you really want to enjoy Las Vegas and the food cuisine, don't eat on the strip, because you're going to pay a lot of money.
And what was the deal? I remember when I used to go, like, you would hop in a cab and they would all have the hookup to the hottest club. What was that about? They
were all getting kickbacks. I mean, the strip joints would give the taxi cab drivers all. Oh yeah.
So that's what it was. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And what about strip clubs? What would be the best strip club in Vegas?
Oof, I don't know now these days. I mean, I think Floyd Mayweather has one now, I heard. So don't go in there and tell him I sent you.
Just walk in. Raphael sent me over here. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Oh, man. That's funny, man. What a life, though. What a life you're living over here. The Oddsmaker. Would you like to take some questions from the chat before I let you go?
Sure. I saw someone in chat. Someone asked me what my favorite NHL team was. I don't have a favorite team in any sport. The only team I'm diehard fan of is the Chicago Cubs because born and raised in the Chicagoland area, they were always on WGN. I was sick a lot when I was a kid. I always knew the Cubs were on at 1:20 my time. So my grandpa would watch them with me, and my dad would watch them with me, and stuff like that. So it's more than just my favorite team. It's something I can remember when I was a kid. But I don't root for any fighter NFL team. I don't have a favorite team.
Interesting. And there's a fascinating question in the chat. Nuclear Zombie wants to know, what's your girth? Do you have a big hog in the pants?
I've been married for so long. Does it really matter?
All right, fair enough. What average over under 6 inches? What are we working with?
I'm 6'4", do the math.
Okay, so there you go, large hog. Very nice. I'm a little jealous, right? 6'4", Jesus. Do you ever play basketball? So I'm assuming when you were a kid, you had before whatever injuries or anything like that. Basketball was a thing.
I was basketball, yeah.
Okay, big hog basketball. Good for you. You must have been hit with the ladies, huh? 6'4", running around Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I'm 6'4" and I'm Mexican. So you try to tell me where you can find a 6'4" Mexican. We're like Bigfoot in Washington.
Let's see. Thoughts on the UFC new rules? Hold on, I lost you for a second. New rules about fighters can't be on themselves. Oh, bet on themselves. Yeah. What about that? The fighters just got an email that they. Yeah. What's that?
I just think UFC is doing the same thing what NFL, NBA, and baseball are doing. So hockey, I think, was the last sport to do it out of the big five. So I think UFC is just pretty much. I mean, it's smart for business. You don't want no betting scandal or something like that. So for the company itself, for UFC and stuff like that, it's good for business. I'm actually shocked that boxers, and I'm shocked that UFC didn't say team, like your manager, coach can't bet it, because I swear to God, after a big boxing event, you always see the cornerman running to the book or someone from their team and stuff like that. I'm actually shocked that they didn't expand it.
There's a question in chat. Why is Brady by sub a plus 900, 9-1 odds? So Sean Brady versus Bilal Muhammad. Sean Brady does have the grappling, but I mean, Bilal has some pretty good grappling too. So I guess that's why. Like, would you have an answer for that?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's probably one of the main reasons why. That number will probably move towards to get closer and stuff like that. We're probably trying to get the other side action quickly, get that money in now. So when sharp action comes in on Friday night, Saturday, which normally Friday night and Saturday, well, we don't have all day Saturday, but usually all day Saturday we can depend on that action and stuff.
The Buffalo Bills odds to win the Super Bowl from Funk Flex in the chat. Would you know offhand what that number would be?
I can look it up for you. They're the favorites after, especially coming off of a big win against Kansas City. I don't see anyone coming close. I think they're plus 270 right now.
Plus 270. Me being a Giants fan, do you think I have any shot of seeing my team win the Super Bowl?
I don't know about winning it, but I really love Coach of the Year right now. Why isn't Barkley getting any MVP love? Right now, if he stays healthy, he will get for sure and comeback Player of the Year. But Barkley needs some MVP love, because if it wasn't for him, the Giants won't have that record right now.
I am shocked that they're 5-1. Like,
me too.
Shocked. Crazy. And the NFC East, they show the power rankings, 3 teams out of the NFC East, the top 10.
NFC beast.
It's crazy, man. Let's see if anything else. Let's see. You guys have anything else here? Can we get a win by Walls of Jericho prop bet?
I wanted to put a prop bet. I think it was a couple weekends ago, because I saw someone do that in an event, and I was going to say, will someone ever win a UFC or Bellator by the Walls of Jericho? I was going to do a prop bet on that one.
What is the craziest prop that you've ever put together? You're like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Pornhub awards. Easily. I had to do some Pornhub. When I can't remember who was singing at that. Was it Cardi B singing at that? And we did a whole bunch of Cardi B and Pornhub stuff. That's probably one of the crazier ones that I've done. I've done some shark betting for the History Channel for Shark Week. I had to do some stuff like that. Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff that I can't believe. A, I'm getting paid to research this, and B, I wish my science teachers were probably still alive because they made fun of me watching sports all day long.
When you were younger, your parents, when they saw you were in this whole world, what do they think about it?
My mom always told me I would never get paid to watch TV, and I proved her wrong. 365 days a year, 49 years of her life.
That's so wild, right? That's got to be something else. When you're able to do something like that and prove someone wrong, it's got to be great, especially with your parents.
She would ground me, and my punishment would be I can't watch the Cubs game. I have to. That would be my punishment. Go outside and play. Not he can't. My brother, she would ground him and say, "Hey, you can't go outside," and she'd be like, "The TV's off. You're grounded."
And the final question over here, Pulse wants to know, what kind of research did you have to do for Pornhub?
A lot. It was very interesting, but luckily I had another guy helping me out on that one because it was very interesting. I actually went to the first AVN Awards. It was at Monte Carlo. I don't know if it was the first one. It was at Monte Carlo Casino, right next to New York. Now I think it's the Park Resort or Casino now. And I'll never forget. I got to walk the red carpet and see everyone, and it was probably one of the wilder events I've ever witnessed in Vegas.
That must have been so on the red. I can only imagine what the hell was going on in that red carpet.
Yeah, I'll never forget. Some female won for an award. I'm not going to say what award she won, and she thanked her mom and dad.
Oh my God, it's crazy. What a world we live in. It's a beautiful world. Well, hey, listen, Raphael, I appreciate you stopping by. So you're gonna be tuning in UFC 280. And you said, what fight are you most excited to see?
I don't know why the Brady fight just really intrigues me. I mean, of course, I'll be rooting for Omalley because I'm not. People always say when I say stuff like this, I bash UFC. The UFC needs Conor McGregor, a Ronda Rousey, or Brock Lesnar, and I think Omalley could be that name. If he wins this one, boom, he's that person. We're not going to ask, when's McGregor going to fight next? When's so and so? I think he can be that one that where you're going to see action figures and stuff like that, and like we did when Rousey and McGregor and Brock Lesnar, and back in the day when Chuck Liddell and stuff like that, and GSP and when he was on stuff like that. I think O'Malley could be that. So I'm really interested to see if he does win. Can he really be that person to take the UFC to the next level? Because right now we need that person to be in the next level.
Is there a fighter on the UFC roster that drives you nuts that you hate, getting involved with any bets with that person?
John Jones.
John Jones.
He can be the GOAT if he wasn't with all his legal. I mean, I don't know how many times Dana White and UFC are going to give him another chance. I mean, most companies would have said, "Hey, you're done." Plain and simple. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, he's got talent up to yin yang. He could be the GOAT easily. But I just don't understand the stuff that I've heard, stuff that I've read. I'm still shocked that his name is still out there. And I hope he does turn his life around. I'm not saying I hate the guy and stuff like that, but if he didn't have all those issues, he would be up there. He would be – we might not have seen a Conor McGregor era because he would have been in a John Jones era. So, I wish he could be – the John Jones that I've seen in the icon many times personally. Like, wow, there's no one going to beat this guy, period. But
yeah, it's such a waste of talent. It's crazy, right?
I would think that's, and like I said, Kahib, put some pounds on you. Start coming out like DC so I don't have to hear when's he going to come back from retirement. Gain some weight.
Well, there you go. Raphael, you said it all, man. Is there any last words you'd like to say to the people, the MMA-Holes?
No, I mean, it's great to be on here. I'm honored to be on here. Like I said, I've been following you guys on Instagram and stuff like that, and I've been watching some of your stuff all the time. You do a great stuff. I love you get the comments you get is fantastic. So that means the following you have is fantastic. So not only I want to thank you, but I want to thank all your followers because they're great. I love reading all the comments and stuff like that. So I want to thank the followers and your fans. They've been fantastic.
Well, hey, thanks for coming on. And listen, next pay-per-view or something like that, always feel free to come back because I'm fascinated by this world.
Anytime you need me, you know where you get my numbers and stuff like that. Reach out. I had fun, and like I said, I always have stories, and you never know. I'll be going to a lot of events coming up soon, so I might have new stories.
There you go. Well, thanks again for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay?
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
All right, there he is, Raphael Esparza, live on the MMA-Holes. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? What do you say in the live chat over here? I tell you what, man, this has been the most interesting guest. I mean, because like I'm a casual gambler. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to make my bets. Mybookie is our sponsor, but talking to someone that actually makes the odds for the website and what's behind it, the stresses, the do's and don'ts. And by the way, he backed me up with the parlays. I don't know much about gambling, but I'm not a moron. Like I understand what a sucker bet is, and parlays are a sucker bet. So if you guys are strapped for now, if you have the money to knock yourself out, go for it. But guys and gals out there, if you kind of, if you're looking for parlays to make you rich, just pump the fucking brakes. Bet straight up on these fighters. I promise you, in the long run, you'll win. But very interesting stuff over there with this guy. Very, very interesting. Real nice guy, too. What do you think in the chat about Raphael Esparza live on the MMA-Holes? He's the one who makes the odds. That's crazy. So the most important note was do not parlay. I tell you, man, listen, just by doing betting myself, I know that it's just a sucker bet. Like you win every once in a while, but in the long run, you're going to get smashed. He was cool. Great interview. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate that. But dude needs a new poll. You know what I liked about him? He was honest. Like he was honest about, like he wants you to bet parlays. Like he wants you to bet in a certain way, but he was completely transparent. And I got to be honest with you, like having a guy like that, being completely transparent, it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. So guys, if you do want to place a bet, mybookie.ag is the place to do it. Go check it out. Mybookie.ag. The promo code is MMA-HOLES for 100% match. I hope you guys win big. This Saturday, I'm going to be dropping 3 solid guarantees. Actually, I'm dropping probably 4 bets. Right now, where I stand, and he also said too, in the beginning, he mentioned, you want to bet while you get that plus money, but maybe you should wait for the face-offs. And like I said before, a lot of these betting channels out there, they're giving you their lock bets before the weigh-ins, before the face-offs. I'm telling you right now, it's fun to listen to. It's content. I get it. But don't fucking lock your bets in until you fucking get all the information. Please, I want to save you some cash. Just check out the information. Get everything before you place that bet, okay? And the bets I'm going to put together from where I stand now, I'm betting Islam. I understand Islam's the favorite, but I'm going to throw a bet on him, even if I bet $100 on him. And I'm gonna go in hard on this one. I'm going to bet Islam. I'm going to bet TJ. I'm going to bet Sean. And I'm going to bet Caitlin Chukagian. I'm going to stay away from the Beneil. I kind of want to bet Benny as an underdog. I kind of want to do it, but I don't want to go too crazy. I'm going to be doing straight up bets on all of them. Caitlin, now, unless I see something at the face-offs or the weigh-ins, okay? If I see something, or even tomorrow morning, we're going to be live for the press conference. If I catch any information, I could go the other way. But right now, where I stand on this beautiful Wednesday evening, I'm going with Islam. I'm going with TJ. I was going with Aljo. I moved over to TJ for many reasons. Just go back to previous streams. But I'm going to TJ now with the plus money. Sean O'Malley, listen, I know Peter Yan should win this fight, but I've said it until I was blue in the face why I think Sean's going to get it done at this stage of the game. And Caitlin Chukagian with plus money I love. Now, there's other fights on here that are interesting. You do have Bilal Muhammad at plus 120. A lot of people think Bilal's going to win. I don't. I think Sean Brady's a fucking boulder and a rock, but I'm going to stay away from that fight. Let me see if there's anything else that jumps out. Jessie did her picks as well. I mean, this Malcolm Gordon, if you like a crazy underdog over here and you want to take a shot, a gamble, I mean, he is the biggest underdog on the card, But like I said, be careful out there when you're making your picks. So that's where I'm going. What are your locks in the chat? Let me know before we take a quick break over here. And make sure you hit the like button. If you like the content, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe because we got a lot of stuff coming your way for UFC 280. Sean Brady is strong as fuck. Yeah, I was just listening to Omalley. He was doing like one of his podcasts with his brother, and he was speaking to Brady, watching him grapple, and he's like, dude, he's never seen anyone like him. the way the guy grapples. Peter Yan has like 4 wars in his last fights. That's true. I don't have gambling spirits. Is the Godfather. You killed the interview. Asked all the unique questions. Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate that. Hey, man, listen, if you have nice things to say, I appreciate it. I do. That's very nice of you, Dustin. I'm glad you enjoyed the interview. They got some cakes to Abu Dhabi. I agree. Same picks. Ending the stream. No, not yet. Omalley is a big name, but is not even close to that McGregor name. I'm with you. Yeah, I don't like... See, Dana White, he's a promoter, so I get what he's doing. But he's saying that the Omalley fight is similar to Jose Aldo versus McGregor. It's not even close. Not even close. It's a big step up for Omalley. Biggest, toughest task. And if he beats Peter Yan, it's a massive deal. But this is 3 fights from the top. 3-round fight. You know, I mean, big win if Omalley wins. Like, this is a big deal. But not McGregor versus Aldo. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, there was the theatrics of McGregor Aldo was going on many moons before that, like with McGregor jumping over the cage after the Seaver fight, then Chad Mendes coming in after the injury and that controversy, and like it was just build up. And then they had the tour all over the fucking place where McGregor snatches the belt and Aldo's going back and forth. This beef, this rivalry was set up just for so long. To say that this is the same thing, it's not even close. Sean O'Malley hasn't even seen Peter Yan in Abu Dhabi yet. He hasn't even seen him. So for Dana to say that, it's just like, you know, sometimes Dana says things like, it's just like, okay, bro, like, who are you trying to fool here? Like, I don't understand. I get you're the promoter. I get it. But in what world is this similar to that? Oh, because O'Malley has tattoos and he's Irish. Okay. Yan probably beats O'Malley down, but anything is possible. Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand why people are picking Yan. I get it. The angle I'm going with this one, picking the under. Listen, there's a lot of fights. You know, it's easy for me to pick these favorites, these overs. But in this fight over here, I have my reasons why I am picking O'Malley at this point. I like it. I like it with the plus money. Now, if O'Malley was the favorite, I'd be picking Yan. But I like this plus money over here, and I'm going to give it a go. O'Malley is going to get his legs chopped. Guys, to those that are saying that is a very casual take. Sean, I love you. I've seen you in the chat before. Very casual take. Watch O'Malley's last fight with Pedro. Watch it. He turns into them. He checks those things. He's ready for the leg kicks. In fact, I guarantee you, Pedro Munoz's legs were killing him from throwing those leg kicks into the checked shin bone. I'm telling you right now, O'Malley was driving. We were calling it as we were watching the fight. He was turning his leg and driving it. He's going to do the same thing to Peter. If you don't think that O'Malley's going to be fucking driving that shit into Peter Yan's leg kicks, you're mistaken. That's not the path to victory. Now, if Peter Yan can get him down, which he's thrown Aljo down multiple times, I mean, he could get Sean down. That's where things get tricky. But if you're banking on leg kick victory, sorry, this is not Cheeto Vera. He's fixed that problem. Now watch, he gets leg kicked down, and I have to eat my words. But this is where I'm standing. I mean, this is I don't know. I feel like after watching that Pedro fight, I feel like Sean's a way smarter fighter. The knee is stronger than the shin. Yan does have the knee. Yeah, he does have that. Shin on shin, not a nice feeling. Yeah, I mean, watch the Pedro Munoz fight, man. Sean was turning the leg and driving it. It was beautiful. Pedro was throwing those kicks right to a fucking shin. Could not feel good. Going to be a war. Great fight, though. I believe O'Malley will win in the fashion everyone thinks he will win. I don't believe, though, I see it going to a decision. So you think O'Malley's going to knock him out? Wow, man. I think decision. I think O'Malley's going to outpoint him. But if O'Malley knocks out Yan, fuck, that's going to be wild. That's going to be wild. I see decision. Peter might vomit from nervousness when he has to look into Sugar's eyes. Jesse, welcome to the stream. Did you get to hear any of Raphael?
No, I just got
No. I tell you what, it was fascinating. Making the numbers and stuff like that. The way he said Habib's name, like some people say Khabib, some people say Habib. He said Kahabib. Like he said Kaha. I don't know, Kahib. He called him like Kahib. I don't know where he got that. I never heard that pronunciation before. Yeah. But really nice guy. Really, really nice guy. I had to rewatch The Proud Babylonian. Yeah. Tune into our gaming streams, not the MMA holes. It got really weird at one point where I jumped into a bizarre call. Nice guy. I've heard people in his camp pronounce it the K, like Khabib. Yeah, Khabib. Yeah, I never heard Kahib. That was a first. That was definitely a first. So what do you think, Jess? You've been putting out some content as well with predictions and picks. What would you say would be just a straight up lock on this UFC 280 card? Lock.
Excuse me.
One fight.
So my picks go out tomorrow, so I can't talk too much about my
Well, you
picks.
can give me one. Like, what would be the one fight that you say?
A lock?
Money. Yeah, money fight.
Well, I never tell people to bet on my picks, but a lock.
If you want to look at it, go check it out.
Oh, I'm already familiar with the entire card. Who is a lock? You know, I think Petr Yan's a lock.
Okay.
I have no clue why they're handing him Sean O'Malley when there's arguably other contenders that are in place for Petr Yan. And I honestly think that O'Malley's a lot of hype, and the UFC's banking on his marketability. So I think Petr Yan is like a lock.
So you're saying that big lopsided line is legit?
Because Yan has never felt any pressure from any of his opponents in the past, and even though he lost to Sterling twice, there was no pressure there. It was a split decision, which was controversial in the last one, and then before that, it was a disqualification. So I think it's Petr Yan.
Okay. Let me know in the chat what you think the lock is of the evening. I'm going to give you my lock after the weigh-ins, after the face-off, the ceremonial weigh-ins, when they all look at each other. By the way, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., well, actually 6:45, I think we got set, a.m. It's early. So if you have free time, if you're up, if you're off, or if you're on your way to work and you want to hear what's going on, we're going to be playing the press conference on this channel. Almost the entire card's going to be at the press conference. I don't know how the hell they're going to do this. So make sure you subscribe, notification, the whole deal. But we'll be live bright and early tomorrow. How dare you eat chips in front of a hungry Chris?
Sorry, I didn't know you were switching. You're doing some chips?
No. I'm gonna.
I didn't know you were switching.
No, I didn't eat dinner, so I'm not gonna just eat chips.
Sorry. TJ wants his belt back. I'm gonna pick O'Malley just to curse him and ensure Jan's victory. Casey says Aljo being a boring fighter is a lock. That's true. Funk Flexen says, does it hurt Habib's legacy if Oliveira wins?
No.
In
no way.
Oh, I guess because he's training with them, he's assuming that reflects on Khabib in some way if Islam loses.
I think in no way it does, right? I mean, do you?
No, I think Khabib's legacy is Khabib's only.
Yeah.
Just read the chat first. I'm just going to watch this.
What is going on with you?
Sorry, I had to wash some chips down. I couldn't speak. It was like sitting in the back of my throat.
All right. Well, before we continue over here, let's give a shout out to some of our sponsors over here, our other sponsors for the show.
All right. CBDX. If you guys want to get high, this is not CBD. I can promise you that. This has THC in it. It will put you under the influence. You must be at least 21 or older to purchase, and you must check your local state laws to see if they can ship to you. That being said, CBDX.com. That's CBDX.com. Use promo code MMA-Holes. That's MMA-HOLES for 20% off of your entire purchase and a free gift on your first purchase. Head over to CBDX.com now to get your favorites like Delta 8 and HHC hemp products. And while you're relaxing with CBDX, you should relax in some comfy, wumpy underwear. Sheath underwear. That's SHEATH underwear.com. Sheath underwear, you can treat your jewels like royalty and not waste your money on generic underwear. Use promo code MMA-Holes. That's MMA-HOLES for 20% off of your entire purchase. And while you're wearing sheath underneath, make sure you're wearing Headrush above. That's right. Headrush is provider of the highest quality, authentic apparel for lifestyle, MMA, and action sports enthusiasts. Head over to Headrush with the link in the description below using promo code MMA-Holes. That's MMA-HOLES at Headrush with the link in the description below. And while you're wearing all the comfy clothes and you're getting nice and high, make sure you're making your bets on all your favorite live sports, but most specifically MMA. That's right. We had Mr. Raphael Esparza come on the show today from mybookie.ag.
It's Raphael because he's not Brazilian. Just we actually.
Oh really?
Yeah. Don't say Raphael. His mom would get mad. He said.
I got it. Raphael Esparza has come on from MyBookie MMA. That's mybookie.ag. Head over to mybookie.ag to bet on all your favorite live sports. When you use promo code MMA-Holes, that's promo code MMA-HOLES, you can receive a 100% match on your first deposit. And watch all your favorite live sports, including MMA and the UFC, but make sure you use the link in the description below because using that link also helps out the MMA-Holes.
Yeah, so UFC 280. If you're going to buy the pay-per-view, use our link in the description. We get a little cut from it, so it goes to us instead of those big, greedy, hungry Disney son of a bitches.
Right.
So, I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
These fighters in fight week, they're cutting weight. I don't know how they do it. Like, I had lunch and a big gap between dinner, and I'm starving right now. I can't imagine cutting weight. Like, I just can't imagine it.
Well, you also eat an abnormal amount.
Well, a lot of these fighters do too, if you think about it, because they have to carry all that muscle. So they have to fuel that muscle with their protein and this and that. And I don't know how they do it. I was listening to Omalley talk about how hungry he was, and now he's at the stage where he has to cut all salt. So it's like he's eating chicken and steak with
healthy?
no salt.
Your body needs some salt.
You take all the salt out. Apparently, I guess a day before or 2 days before or whatever, you start cutting the salt out. You're water loading. There's a whole process behind it. It's incredibly. It sounds horrible. Like, it really does. Like, it sounds terrible to cut weight. It's worse than the fight.
Yeah.
If you think about it. We had Sadiq Yusuf on, and basically he said the same thing too. He's, the fighting is not the bad part. It's the weight cutting. Like, you're actually excited to fight because it's like a whole cool experience. Even though you're beating each other up, it's still a wild, adrenaline rush, I guess. But when you're cutting the weight, it's gotta be miserable.
Well, I guess because salt retains water and water causes bloat, right? So that's probably why they have to take the salt out.
Yeah, and he was O'Malley's growing on me. The only thing I can't stand is his laugh. He goes, like in the middle of a sentence. He'll just start talking and he'll be like, yeah, so, I'm gonna take some salt out of my diet. I'm like, what the fuck was that? He does this. Does anyone know? One's in the chat if you hear this. Listen to his conversation with his brother or any podcast he does. In the middle of a sentence, like a nervous thing that he does. He's like, yeah, so, I was fucking this girl in Vegas. And then my wife's at home with the baby.
That's really annoying.
I know. It is really annoying. Listen to his podcast. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, some people hear it. I was on the bike today, and I'm listening to it, right? Because, I'm trying to just get this information. If I'm going to pick this O'Malley underdog, I got to get where he's at right now.
Bad pick. Probably the worst pick you've made on this card.
And I couldn't get the out of
What is it about him that has you so swayed?
I went. Do I have to go into it right now? I mean,
well, no. I just like to know what you have that he has against Petr Yan.
Okay.
Petr Yan doesn't already have accounted for.
First of all, okay, there's a massive size difference, and I know that doesn't say everything, but that I feel like that's a problem. I feel like and people are saying the same. Now we've said this weeks ago, and now everyone's saying it. Even O'Malley's saying it. Peter's a slow starter. He's a slow starter, right? It's not like he's like a turtle. But he just, it's easy to win that first round. It's easy to win a first round on Peter. Look when Aljo went guns blazing in the first fight. Like, Peter was like, oh, what's going on? Like, I feel like O'Malley's going to push the pace and be a little bit of a problem. So I think round one's going to go to O'Malley. Now we have 2 rounds left. All O'Malley has to do is win one more. It's that simple.
Logic?
It's that simple.
Oh, that's terrible.
He's going to be
Nobody
checking the
listened to Moss on
kicks.
this fight.
He's going to be checking the kicks. When was the last time Peter submitted somebody?
God.
When was the last time? Because here's the deal. If you're not going to try to, is it going to be ground and pound? Maybe that's what works.
All he has to do is win one more round.
That's it. The odds are in our favor right here.
That's such a terrible take.
And Sean O'Malley, think about it. Sean O'Malley's a fucking precise, deadly striker. He's a good fucking striker, this guy. He's got the reach. What is Peter going to do? How is Peter going to win? Tell me.
I think I have him by... I'm not going to say, actually, because that is in my picks video.
Okay.
But I will say this. I'm
Ground and
pretty
pound?
sure it's by finish.
Illegal knee?
I can't speak on it, but
Doctor
I have
stoppage?
finish.
Now listen. If Peter gets him down, if he does one of those hip tosses, those throws, those trips, whatever the fuck he does when he was doing with Sterling, which he's very good at, if he does, I'll be nervous then. Because I'm not saying submission, but ground and pound could be a problem. If it stays on the feet, Omalley wins. And I understand that Peter Yan's a very good boxer. Some are saying, putting him up as one of the best boxers in the UFC. But he's the size of a pug, Jesse. By the way, I didn't fill in my eyebrow. Is it growing in at least? It looks a little faded compared to this one. It's growing in a little bit. Yeah. I should have filled it in, but I didn't. He's the size of a pug, Jesse. And Sean O'Malley's a full-grown poodle. So Sean O'Malley all day. All day. Telling you.
This might be the worst take that you've had.
I'm betting on O'Malley. I see. You see, Kainoda says $10. I'm putting $100 on O'Malley. I'm going hard on this card.
Don't put $100 on O'Malley.
I'm going hard on this card.
Come on, do $50.
Well, here's the deal. I got safety bets in play.
Moss, there's no such thing as a safety bet.
Oh yes, there is. Why am I on this scene? Yes, there is, Jesse. There is. Mystical Moss, when he bets straight up, he always has safety bets in play. And I got him. First of all, Chukagian's one of them. Plus 155. Throw 100 on her. Bang, safety. Safety bet right there. The Benny one, I want to go with it, but I'm not going to. I think I'm going to go TJ with another plus 145 over here. Okay? And Sean O'Malley a plus 255. So I have 3 underdogs here. I hit with 2 of those underdogs. I'm cozy. I'm not losing a penny. You know what I'm saying? So I got safety bets over here. Now, I could lose every single fight, but I'm not because I'm mystical.
You did not put money on Benil?
No, I'm afraid. Good. I want to. I want to put money on Benny.
No. Don't do that.
I feel like I'm pushing myself.
Don't do that, Moss.
The reason why I'm not putting money on Benil
is because he's going to lose.
Is because, listen, chill. Is because I have 3 underdog bets. You know what I'm saying? I can't push my luck. I can't. I don't think that many underdogs going to win on this card.
Wait, so then you have O'Malley.
Yeah, Chukagian.
Well, you put money on Chukagian?
Hold on, I didn't do it. Yeah, she's a plus. She's plus money.
She's put money on her?
I'm going to, yes.
Why?
Because she's plus money in this fight. She's going to win.
She's not going to win.
Oh my God. Fiora is tough. She's nasty. We saw in her last fight. But Chukagian
is wasting all the bet money.
Oh my God.
This card, the bet money will be gone.
Jesse.
Because of your terrible takes.
Jesse.
Quick takes with JBM and terrible takes with Mystic Moss.
Anytime Jesse doubts me,
terrible takes.
It works out in my favor. Don't worry, trust me. Now here's the deal. I didn't place the bets yet. So guys, pump the brakes. We're going to be making the bets after the weigh-ins. Okay, after the weigh-ins.
Oh, because you want to see the face-off,
And
right?
I might lose my plus money. I might lose it. You know, the lines might get a little closer. Things might happen. But I do need to see them stare at each other. You know, face-to-face, nose-to-nose. I need to see that. But Wednesday night, if the fights were tomorrow, that's where I would pick. That's where I would bet. Makhachev, ready? The only favorite, Makhachev, TJ, Sean O'Malley, and Chukagian. 3 underdogs, 1 favorite. And people are like, why don't you do a parlay? Because it's a sucker's bet.
Yeah, wait, TJ's not the under.
Yes, he is.
Sterling is the under.
No, Jesse, no. That is incorrect. And I hope you didn't put the wrong information in your video.
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, you're right. He's a slight favorite.
Yeah, TJ's getting plus money. I'm not going to touch
him.
him.
But they're pretty near even. I mean, you're not really going to make much money, even if you did win the Dillashaw fight.
It's a plus 145.
You're going to win like
getting
$5
TJ at that,
that.
It's good. But here's the thing. I was going Sterling. I feel like there's too many distractions. I feel like TJ's more laser focused. You know, TJ is 36 years old, which is a little concerning. But
and
he's in great shape.
Coming back in. Like, we have no idea what this aged version of him is bringing.
You know, the people that are in Aljo's doing this too. The people that are talking about, you know, TJ should have lost that fight with Sanhagen. Aljamain strangled Sanhagen. MMA math, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I would go with that. I don't know.
You gave me those chips that you took away from me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How dare you? We don't have much show left. How dare you eat these things in front of hungry?
Discreetly.
You had dinner and chips. But let me know in the chat. What do you think? See, do a $20 parlay. I'm just gonna throw the $20 away. I know I'm not gonna win all the bets. I know it.
You're definitely not going to win.
I know I'm not. I am not going to win all the bets. And if I do, it'd be a miracle. And if I do, I'd make some pretty good money anyway. So, listen. And if you just jump in, we had Raphael Esparza on the show from Mybookie, the Oddsmaker over there. If his boss was in the room, okay, his boss would look at him and say, no, bet parlays. But Raphael said on this show, he said it, it's a fucking sucker's bet, the parlay. So I understand, hey, throw $20, throw $5.
How many times have you parlayed, Moss?
I've done it a bunch of times.
I know.
That's why we're down. That's why we're down. If I
You
didn't
should have
parlay,
stopped when you realized
know.
it was a sucker's bet.
it's the truth. It is truth. I hit on the parlay with Chris Curtis, William Knight, and there was another under, and I thought it was invincible, and that's the problem. I wish I never won on a parlay because I never would have made the bet again.
That's gambling.
But you get suckered in. $5 here, $10 there, $100 here. You know, like you get suckered in. You know, because you want to win like 10 grand. You know, you want to hit like 5 grand. You want to do that. You got to be in it to win it. Not me anymore. I completely changed my strategy, and now I'm going back up. You know, padding the numbers right back up, getting right back to that 1,000 mark again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bet straight up. It's not as sexy as the parlays, the props, all that stuff. Parlays and props are suckers bets. I understand why it's fun, but they're sucker bets.
What's the Sean Brady odds?
Sean Brady is the favorite, so Bilal's getting the plus. Not by much. They have him at a plus 120 here. On Mybookie, they got him.
What do you got in that fight?
I'm picking Brady, but
Yes.
I don't, it's, we might be making a mistake. We might be making, just because Bilal's boring, you can't really put aside what he's been doing. But I think Brady's too much of a rock, you know? I really do. And Brady is like, he's got no personality. Like he's
cold.
It's just like you hear him interviewed, it's boring as fuck. And sometimes his fighting is boring, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Like he'll grapple the fuck out of you. But his grappling is so good and he's so strong. I got to stick with Brady on this one. I don't know. It was kind of weird because Raphael was saying that this might be this could be the most exciting fight on the card. I was like, wait, hold on, man. I don't know about that.
No, this isn't going to be the most exciting fight.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But it is still a good fight. I do think Bilal Muhammad's going to kind of give him a little bit of a run for his money, but I don't think he's going to win.
Did you know they updated the poster for UFC 280? Did you see it?
Are you trolling?
No, they did. I'll show it to you right now. Hold on a second here. Okay. Yeah, they updated the poster.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's pretty cool. There it is.
Wow. It doesn't get better than that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. That is amazing right there. There's Bilal. Remember the name. But here's the thing. I just want to say this. Bilal getting plus money on this fight, and he's training with Khabib now. He's with the boys, man. He's full force. They're putting him through. They're working my man, Bilal. And watching Will Harris's Anatomy of a Fighter. Shout out to Will Harris over there in Abu Dhabi. Watching what he's doing with, covering with Bilal. And Bilal looks like he's dying in every video because of what these guys are doing with him. Training with Khabib, I tell you what, don't sleep on Bilal in this fight. I am not confident with Brady at all.
Just remember, like, I get it, training with, like, the former champ and everything. Khabib is, like, the best of the best, you know?
No, I'm talking about the whole group.
No, but I was just going to say.
That group, they're nuts.
No, I was just going to say about that group. Just remember that we have seen fighters in that group also take losses because they're not as good as Khabib. So they could train with Khabib and not be as good as Khabib.
Jesse, have you watched Anatomy?
Here's why
oh my
I say
God.
this. No, I didn't watch the Anatomy. I did watch the Embedded, though.
Watch Anatomy.
But here's why I say this. I picked against Islam and against Bilal, and both guys are training with Khabib. You would think I would go in that direction, but I just don't get that vibe, Moss.
Watch. If you're going to be making predictions, you need to pull in as much information as possible.
Yeah, I watched
not
the
fight tape, because I think fight tape is a little overrated.
What do you think they're rigging fight tape? Like,
no. I'm saying a lot of people. I studied fight tape. Well, I know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
I think that's nonsense. I think the psychosis. I think who they're training with. I think, the lead up, how's their weight cut going? Like all these little other things you should be taking into consideration. And Bilal Muhammad training with these guys. Like I'm looking at these guys. It's not just Nurmagomedov. It's killer on top of killer. The best guys in Bellator. The fucking hottest prospects in the UFC. All with the neck beards. These guys are fucking animals. Yeah. They're literally animals. Now, they seem like the nicest guys in the world if you just fucking talking to them. They're the coolest guys. But what I'm talking about, what these guys are capable of doing in an octagon or a cage, it's scary. And Bilal has just inserted him with these savages. I'm telling you right now.
He's not going to win.
I'm telling you, this fight over here I'm not betting on because I am not confident with Sean. I am not. And if you want to place a bet, I think the bet is more valuable going with Muhammad because he's looked very good lately, very dominating, and now he's switched over with Khabib and the boys. I tell you what, if you're going to place the bet, that's the place to go. What do you think in the chat about this fight over here?
Let's see. Delton says Jan showed on the open workout that his defense was sharpened a bit.
I do have to watch that, the open workouts. I do.
J. Chronic says crumple the guy into a ball and win. Nuclear Zombie says the beanie guy says he wants to fight you. Oh, that'd be an easy fight. You just throw a donut at him.
Is that guy?
And then boom, you win. Godfather says mountain range tough, only a few top, many lower level but still bearded. Scary fight over rounds the bet, says smoke him if you got him. KC says Brady for the win. Duke Chronic says I wouldn't bet, but Ralph picked Brady.
Who's Ralph?
Raphael?
Is Raphael he's talking about? He called him Ralph. Yeah, he did. I didn't trust him on this fight, though. I'm going to be honest with you. But I did pick Brady as well. I don't know, man. I'm not, like, confident. But right now, I'm on Brady's side. I might switch.
Khabib and the Boys is the Russian version of Dirty Mike and the Boys.
Dude, I'm watching Will Harris's Anatomy of a Fighter, and I'm like, this is not right that these guys are all training together. It feels unfair. It feels like they have a cheat code. Like they're just savage. You got like the best of the PFL guys, the best of the Bellator guys, the best of the UFC guys, all fucking training together.
Listen, you just gotta surround yourself with the right people, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. It's scary. And Bilal just put himself in the mix, and look what happened. They put him on the poster.
He looks like Ariel a little bit in this
because
picture.
He's training with Khabib. They just slapped his face on the middle of the poster. It's actually true. Did you see this? The walking of the hallway over. Don't do this meme. Yo, Jake Shields. So he didn't answer my last text. I kind of want to follow up now because I think Jake Shields is lost. He's severely lost his mind. Look what he posted. Like I honestly think Jake has lost it.
They're just respecting the culture.
Oh my God, Jake Shields.
Although Sean O'Malley's just being an idiot. He's not even like wearing it. Doesn't even look like he's wearing it properly.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley is. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Sean O'Malley's the special needs version of the terrorist. Here, let's see. This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw this.
So yeah, it's so funny, man. You got Team Khabib, Team Islam. You got Team Charles, right? And then you see the two in the hallway. They cross paths. No hostility, no bad blood. You know, they're just... Here, let's watch this again. Oh, my God. What the fuck's going on in the background over there? Little fist bump. See, now, here's what I take from this, Jesse.
Wait, can I give my take before you give yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that the fist bump was the respect, but the little tap was a dominant showing.
100%.
Like, hey, I respect you, but I'm going to fucking kill you.
Islam did the little pat on the belly, saying, you're dead. Allah Akbar! You die!
Okay, maybe a bit much.
That's what he did right there. Islam's going to kill him. See, the fist bump. Charles is a sweetheart.
But that could also mean that maybe he's a little insecure, so he's doing it for his own security.
No, Jesse.
You never know. He might be trying to convince himself more than he's trying to convince Charles.
Stick with your original thought.
Okay, but now look at Charles's face.
Charles, he's like, oh, shit.
No, his face is more like, oh, this fucking guy.
This guy over here
he's like,
has just been touched by death.
Oh, stop.
I'm telling you right now. Just been touched by death. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to just show you the facial expression. So he's exhausted, he's cutting weight, the whole deal, right? They fist bump here, okay? And look at the guy in the background. Dun, dun, dun! He knows the touch of death is coming over here. The hand comes in, bink, right on the little monkey belly. And Charles, he almost got knocked out there, Jesse. Look at this. He almost got knocked out just from the tap of the stomach.
That's a straight up eye roll.
Jesse.
He knows what Islam's trying to do.
He walks, it's like he's walking a plank here. Look at this. He looked at the camera. So here's something. Let me just show you this. As soon as he looks at the camera, okay, the hand has made contact with the stomach. Okay? Charles Oliveira is giving the eyes to the camera.
He knows what Islam's doing.
This is not confidence.
Yes, it is. He's not an idiot.
And look at this guy in the background just laughing at him. Islam just gave him the touch of death. The touch of death.
Far.
Bet the house.
You are too far up Islam's ass.
Bet the house on Makhachev, baby. Look at him. Defeat right there. We need to clip this and put this on Instagram immediately, Jesse. This breakdown over here, this is going to save people so much money. You know? It's all right in here. It's all in the touch.
Never rub the tiger's belly, Moss.
I'm telling you. Yeah, and the tiger just gave up. Just submitted. He looked at the camera and walked away. He's like, oh my God, I'm fucking dead. I'm dead. The fucking guy in the background. The guy in the background. He looked at Islam. He's like, did you just fucking get... Are you going to give him the touch? Dink. It touched. And then Charles like, oh fuck, he just did it. He just did it. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. There you go. Save everyone some money.
You are so full of yourself.
I'm telling you. Listen, I'm just trying to, you know.
Wonderful.
Just trying to help people out.
Baby Lesnar, TJ, was smart to fight in the UAE. Their water has about 20 steroid compounds. They serve supersized Trenbolone at liquor stores. There's no way in hell TJ fights anywhere else.
So you think he's still on it? And Dana White saying, giving, you know, TJ all the respect in the world because he handled it like a man. Dude, what is going on? He flat out cheated. He handled it like a man. Look at TJ, right? This dude he's just flaunting it. 36 years old.
It almost looks unhealthy. Look at it, like right at the bottom of the pack. You see that? That looks so unhealthy.
So what does he do? He doubles down. He says, hey man, I'm gonna get so ripped, there's nothing you can do. And this is what he shows up with. Dude, Aljo is fucked. Look at him. Look at this. He's blowing it. Look at this, Jesse.
Cardio.
Oh my God, Aljo's done. He's done. Did you see what Sean Strickland said about him? Wait, what am I doing here? There we go. Let's go like this. Did you hear what Sean Strickland said? Oh man, the snake's ready. Pushing 40 years old, looking like that. Do you think he's still on sauce? Do you think there's something going on?
Nah. I think this guy, the sauce, all that shit, it's done. It's in the past.
Imagine the UFC said, hey man, we can't stand Aljamain Sterling. What we need you to do, we're going to have you fight in Abu Dhabi, and we're going to have some loopholes. TJ, get back on the juice and fuck him up. You think that's what happened?
I guess.
Let's start that conspiracy so Brendan Schaub would just fucking throw it out there and Dana would bury him. Here's Sean Strickland talking about TJ Dillashaw. I don't know if you guys heard this.
Oh God, this is gonna be so AIDSy.
It's worth the listen.
Haven't we had enough already? You're still into it? Like
yeah.
The whole shtick?
Yeah, I like it.
Oh God.
I think it's great.
I'm starting to be like I don't care anymore. Like he's just fucking nuts, you know?
Well, spoiler alert, he's talking like this. I don't know what happened to his voice. I don't know what happened to Sean Strickland's voice, but it got very
TJ,
raspy.
you are the scum of the fucking earth. The fact that you're even allowed to compete in MMA fucking shocks me.
Okay, let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Here we go.
Keeps popping in my fucking feed. And man, TJ, you are the scum of the fucking earth. The fact that you're even allowed to compete in MMA fucking shocks me. And let me tell you why you're scum. Like when you beat a guy, maybe you would have won, maybe you wouldn't have won. But you beat these guys, half their fucking check is gone, their fucking ranking's gone. Like you do so much damage to somebody's fucking life just because you're roided out. You are fucking scum. You should never be allowed to compete in MMA again. I fucking hate you.
I like how he just slips and I fucking hate you. What do you think, Jess?
Well, I mean, he's not wrong. I don't disagree with him. That is a pretty scummy thing to do. But I still like TJ. Like, I don't know. I still root for the guy for some reason.
You root for that cheating scumbag, Jesse?
Yeah, even though what he did was scummy, I think, like, I don't know. Like, there's just something likable about him, I guess. I don't know.
Likable about TJ. You are in the minority. Have you seen TJ's interviews?
Yes.
Have you seen him on the media?
Yes, there is a reason I like the guy. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. There's, like, some sort of intrigue, I guess.
What is it? Here's the thing. He's the bad guy. TJ's the bad guy.
Maybe that's
He's
what
the
it is.
cheater. He's got this chip on his shoulder. He doesn't give a fuck. Like he doesn't even buy into the trash talking or any of that stuff. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. But
listen, the past is the past. He's not roided up now. He's coming in clean. You got to give the guy, the chance that he's been given. Look at John Jones. John Jones has screwed up a million times, and the UFC still gives him chance after chance. You mean to tell me that they can't give TJ Dillashaw a chance?
Well, it did. Not only did they give him a chance, Dana
They
White
gave John Jones like 5 chances, Moss.
Dana White, well, he gave TJ a chance, and he
One
patted.
chance.
Well, he fucked up one time.
So give him 4 more chances so he can match up with Jones.
What are you talking about?
My point is the UFC is constantly giving that lending hand to people who fuck up. So why are we delivering all the scrutiny to TJ Dillashaw for a mess up or two?
Well, you didn't get the memo.
When
TJ Dillashaw is a hired assassin by the UFC to take out Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
The UFC does not want Aljo as a champion. It's that simple. It's that simple. They don't want him as a champion.
I agree. Like, listen.
The UFC
I think
never.
Aljo is a good dude, and I think that he tries his best to be a good person, but he's not champ material. I'm sorry, Aljamain Sterling. I think, like I said, you're a great fighter. You are a good person from what I've been able to associate with you, but for fuck's sake, like, there's no champ material going on there. There's not. I got to be brutally honest here. Like,
you know what, though?
There's no marketability in Aljamain Sterling.
If he keeps winning, it doesn't matter.
Well, then you better fucking do something about how you are on the
your
mic, at
opinion
least.
means nothing to Aljo, you know?
But if it's the opinion of the masses, that does mean something.
It is true, though. The UFC, you can tell, even from day one, like, Aljo came in as a prospect, and they never really pushed him the way they should have. And when he started winning, the UFC kind of was like, yeah, whatever, and Aljo started complaining about it. And then we started getting to learn more about Aljo as the, personality. Aljo's not a bad guy. Mm-hmm. He's not a bad guy. He's actually a really good guy. He's nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to destroy the guy. I just don't think there's any marketability in him as a champion.
But
like,
there's
so
something
far,
off.
what we've seen with him as a champ has been not good.
It's something off. There's something off with Aljo when it comes to, like, he says things that he's just like, like he was talking. They were saying
he
how
backpedals a lot.
Sean O'Malley was saying how Aljamain Sterling's not a draw, and then Aljo's response to it was just bad. It was weak, and he was like, "Well, how are you supposed to know that? Like, they keep putting me in these spots," and I'm like, Aljo, you're not. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev is the spot, and if there was a belt on the line, Sean O'Malley in any situation would be over you. Like, it's that simple. Like, Sean O'Malley has that it factor where he's marketed himself right. And Aljo's trying and trying and trying. It's just not sticking.
Not approaching it the right way, I think.
There's always a lynch mob after Aljo.
Everyone has...
Even when he's right.
Everyone has a draw. Like, everyone has some semblance of marketability, but they have to tap into it. And I don't think Aljo has found the right way to tap into his. And that's why it's difficult to get on board the whole Aljo train. But... that being said, on that same token,
it's a shame,
there are a lot of people who are full diehard Aljo fans. So, like, he does have that following. It's just I don't think it's what he expected it to be. It's not what I expected it to be.
Well, let's look at the sequence of events here. He kind of peaked to me at Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah.
Like I
think that was for most people.
Like, if you think about it, when he fucking submitted Corey Sandhagen, that was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was incredible. 2020. He goes in the first round and just makes easy work. But before that, you had
the knee bar with Cody Stamen.
Oh, that was good too. Yeah,
that was like.
But he was on
an impressive
so
moment.
he came on the MMA-Holes after Marlon Moraes. Remember this? Mm-hmm. After Marlon Moraes, the infamous knee. He comes on our show right before the Brett Johns fight, and he rattles off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row after he comes on the MMA-Holes. Then he comes on again, and he never comes on after that. But still, I think we are the reason why he beat all these guys over here. But here's the deal. You got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 of the unanimous decisions over here. But the knee bar was badass. It was a banging knee bar. And the Corey Sandhagen submission was wild. That was fire. It was like, shut up, everyone. I'm here. Mm-hmm. But then he has the illegal knee with Peter Yan, which was handled in a really weird, funky way. And then he beats Peter Yan, which, listen, he beat him, right? Oh,
get out of here.
I think
you think he won that fight?
No, at the time, I did think that Yan got the edge, but I understand why people think that Aljo won this fight.
Then
but here's
please
the problem.
Explain this so that I can understand, because to this day,
control
I
time.
still don't
Simple.
understand.
It's control time. That's the only reason why he won.
He laid on top of him and did nothing.
Exactly. But here's the thing. That's the problem with Aljo. That's the problem. We're coming off 2 fights where one was the illegal knee and the other one, he literally hugged Yan to a victory.
Like, it's not even like...
Hugged him.
It's not even like an understatement. He literally just fucking laid there. Like, he didn't even move.
Yeah, that's the problem. So you got these 2 wins. Yes, you redeemed yourself, Aljo, but at the same time, it was a horrific fight.
It made me want to punch him in the face.
But no. But here's the thing: if it got him the win, what did he do wrong? Well, he did nothing wrong.
It makes his face look punchable to me.
Okay, but he did nothing wrong, and he legitimately got the win.
He would have done nothing wrong if he got the control time and actually worked. He laid there, Moss.
I understand it was a shitty fight.
What do you mean he did nothing wrong? Everyone literally saw a fucking hug fest for like, how long was it that he was doing that?
I understand. Well, there's a lot of fighters that do that. Habib used to do that.
But he still worked. He still inched up the body. He still tried to do other things.
So?
Aljo fucking laid on top of him.
All right, well, listen.
And it makes his face punchable to me.
You like GSP. Do you remember some of his fights? Dude was a fucking
the ones
blanket.
that I did see, he
You
wasn't
need to go
just,
back.
he didn't just lie there and do nothing.
There were times at GSP fights where I literally fell asleep.
Ugh. God, I can't
need to
believe
watch
you right now.
You need to watch
You're
George St. Pierre.
impeccable.
I'm telling you, it's part of the game. If
Now
you
your
can,
face is punchable
If
to
you
me.
can lay on someone to a victory, and it's within the rules, what did he do wrong? I understand why people are not like because it was a boring fight. But I'm playing devil's advocate.
Stop it!
What did he do wrong?
You're sounding so ridiculous. Like I don't even want to engage.
You know
in
what?
This.
I like Aljo now. Now I'm a big fan.
Now your face is punchable.
I'm a big fan of Aljamain Sterling.
Quappa.
He's getting an unfair treatment over here. No, but everything he's doing, it just feels like it's just piling, you know?
Yeah.
And it just feels like the whole thing with Twitter, with this whole rape thing. He's
It was
not
sarcasm, by the way, when I called him impeccable. Jesus Christ. Right over your heads. It's okay.
What are you talking about?
Because I called you impeccable. I was being sarcastic. Like if someone said, if you're being like a fucking jackass and someone goes, you're amazing. It's sarcasm. You're not actually amazing. You're a fucking jackass. You know what I mean?
Super
Never mind.
Let me turn on these donations over here. A Dire Goth, thank you for the $1 super duper. Thank you for the donations, guys. Come on, round of applause. Hey, I remember you, Dire Goth. Thank you for the $1. Appreciate that.
Super chat.
If you'd like to support the show, feel free to drop a donation. Go for it over there. Thank you. It helps tremendously. No, like I understand why people are turning on Aljo. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And as a champion, he's not my favorite. It pains me because I do like the guys
Who's your
from Raw.
least favorite champion? Of the champions right now.
I'm going to piss people off. You want me to piss people off?
Yeah.
Do you want me to piss people off?
But you have to be honest. Don't just say it to piss people off.
I'm going to be honest. Valentina Shevchenko.
Is your least favorite champ?
I couldn't care less. And she's so good. She's fantastic. She's phenomenal.
Really?
She's a phenomenal. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't know why.
Maybe because she talks like this. Maybe because she talks like...
I don't know what it is with her, but I just can't do it. Oh, Carla Esparza, yeah. But you know what? You know why I like
forgot
Carla?
about Carla Esparza.
You know why I like Carla? I'm going to tell you why. Because she's not supposed to be there.
Moss, nobody talks about
And
Carla
you know why I like
ever.
Carla Esparza? She beat Rose Namajunas twice.
Nobody's like, oh,
and let
I
me
can't wait
just
for the
say
next
this.
Carla Esparza
Carla
fight.
Esparza, she beat Rose Namajunas 2 times, and Rose Namajunas is the most annoying fucking fighter on the
That's true.
roster. She's crying. She's like, oh, it's such an amazing moment. She's fucking saying prayers on YouTube. She's got big nostrils. Fuck Rose Namajunas and fuck Pat Barry. Fuck them all. Carla Esparza's the GOAT, baby. Cookie Monster, baby. Hot take.
Like
I know
it.
people love Rose. I can't stand her. I can't. She cries all the time. She's had some trouble. She had a lot of trauma in her life, and we got to deal with it. It's not my problem.
Shut the fuck up. You don't have to sound like an asshole about it.
I'm the best. Shut the fuck up, Rose. Shut up.
Oh, God.
You tune into her YouTube channel. She's saying prayers for the people in the chat. Okay, who wants a prayer right now? Shut up, Rosie, you big-ass nostrils. You shaved
What's wrong
head.
with prayer?
There's
You
nothing
seriously
wrong.
gonna
It's
kill her for
just I'm just adding it to the
positivity?
things. No, it's fine. You can pray. It's fine. I have no problem. I have no problem with that. I just don't need my UFC champion going on like, I'm just going to pray for everyone right now.
Then don't watch her.
Let's just celebrate with prayer with my big nostrils.
You're so obsessed with her nostrils.
It drives me nuts. Rose used to be pretty when she had long hair. And then she shaved it, went all Sigourney Weaver, and I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
And she fucking took out the Boogie Woman. I'll never forgive her for that.
She had like a Britney Spears meltdown.
Yeah. When she took out I was in the building, and I saw the Boogie Woman go down, UFC 217, and I'm like, Rose, I hate you for the rest of my life.
Oh, God.
Wonderful.
So there you go. Shevchenko. Who's your least favorite champion? I know that it's easy to say Carla. It's easy to say Aljo.
Least favorite champion.
Izzy.
What? That's not even close
Tell you
to
what,
a least.
right now in the chat, let me know who's your least favorite champion on the roster. By the way, hit the fucking like button. What's going on here? 150 people watching with 100 likes. That is unacceptable. How dare you disgrace us with only 100 likes? How dare you? Who's your favorite UFC champion?
No, you said least favorite.
Oh, least favorite. Excuse me. Least favorite.
Yeah.
Currently.
Current UFC
Yeah, I don't know what it is
champions.
with Valentina Shevchenko. Like, she's very good. She's so good.
I kind of like her.
I just don't care.
But yeah, I guess if I had to choose, like I think Shevchenko is the least like one that I'm interested in, like what's going on in her career, you know?
Okay, we got some in here. Aljo's, you got Nunez. Sarah's not the champ right now. Volk. Edwards.
Edwards isn't a champ.
Yes, he is.
Well,
What do you mean, Edwards?
take that back.
Matt Sarah's not the champ. We're talking about current champion. Jorge Masvidal, the BMF. The least Aljo. Yeah, it seems like Aljo is the majority. The lightweight champ, which is no champ. Leon, Izzy, or Aljo. Esparza as well. I see. Here's the thing. I can't hate Esparza on that one fight because of her. She executed a game plan that got her the belt back. So I can't now. If she defends the belt and the same thing keeps happening, yes. But I gotta be honest with you. I don't hate Esparza. I don't hate her. But if she continues her reign with horrific fights, then yeah, see you later. But she's I don't know. She's been a champ twice, respect. Leon gets too much hate. Yeah, I don't know why he gets, but Leon's a weirdo. He is, right?
I couldn't believe what he did. Like, I feel like he kind of gets a little underestimated as a champ. I think people should, give him a little bit of a chance. I remember picking Leon in that fight, and then everyone was kind of sleeping on it. And I remember feeling like, you don't have that feeling when you're the only person rooting for someone. Like when you were with Connor in the beginning, and you're the only person rooting for them, and everyone else is just kind of sleeping on them and not giving them enough due credit. And then when they win, you just feel that like connection to that fighter. That's what I think it kind of felt like. And I think Leon built a huge fan base after that win.
Well, Usman was like that for me. Because I felt like everyone kept on. Not Connor, because Connor had buzz. I mean, my friends were all telling me I was nuts. Yes. But Kamaru Usman is the one for me because when he was rising up, I felt like I was completely by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Actually, Glover Teixeira was another one, too. But then when Glover won, everyone's like, it was such a special moment. It's like, where were the fuckheads that would tell me I was a lunatic for thinking Glover would be a champion, But Usman, probably the guy that I would go with. So what was your point?
I forgot. Someone had mentioned something about Edwards not getting enough credit or something like that. And I was saying, no, people do give him. He built a fan base after that knockout win of Usman.
Yeah, because everyone hates Usman. That's why. It's the only reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was overnight. Edwards had a fan base.
Listen, it doesn't matter who beat Usman. It was because Usman had so many people that disliked him, right?
Yeah.
So it could have been fucking Hitler. It could have been fucking Biden. If Biden beat Usman.
Here's the thing.
Everyone would be like, go Biden.
Here's the thing, though. The concerning part is it was it was an unforgettable moment, but at the same time, it was forgettable that Edwards became a champ. Even I forgot for a split second that Edwards was the champ. I kept thinking Usman, and then it had to click.
Well, you know why? Because when they run it back, Usman's gonna win. He's gonna fucking hump the shit out of
the fact that
victory.
it's forgettable that Edwards is champ, I can understand why people aren't really giving Edwards that much credit. They can't even remember that he's champ.
Well, he beat the pound for pound guy at the time, right? So that's why. People, Usman was sitting at pound for pound. He was the guy.
Yeah.
So the fact that Edwards just won, that's still too fresh, and maybe it slipped in people's minds. Possibly. But he is the champ. Leon Edwards. It is weird. Right? It's weird. Leon Edwards is your champion. But I feel like Leon Edwards, Carlos Esparza, it's too early. It's too early to jump down their throats. And Leon just got the head kick, so I don't understand why anyone would jump down Leon's. But he is boring on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
He is boring on the mic. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else here on this card that I want to dive into? So if you're just jumping in, we had Raphael Esparza live on the MMA-Holes. He's the odds maker for mybookie.ag. And fascinating stuff. This guy, he even spoke about how big his dick is, Jess. Yeah, we found out how
I'm
big he has.
glad
Big
I missed
hog.
this interview.
He's a 6'4" Mexican with a big, long, veiny hog.
Ew.
It's true. I couldn't even try to make that up.
Aw, super chat.
Dire Goth.
How long Leon last as champ? He in a tough division.
Yeah.
Well, knocking out Usman is insane. I think that he could do it again. If like they run it back, I think he could knock out Usman again.
Well, the question is the chin, right? That's what everyone's gonna say. I'm picking Usman in the rematch. I think
Of
Usman.
course you are.
I think Usman dummies it down even more. Think about it. If Usman didn't take a chance in that 5th round, he would have won.
I did like how Usman
Easy.
handled it after. It was very champion-esque, like very professional.
You think
Like,
Leon's gonna win the rematch?
Yes.
I'll tell you right now, there will be a trilogy.
I disagree.
100%. 100% there'll be a trilogy. Because Leon is probably going to go, Usman is going to go over to the UK, right, to fight him. I think that's the consensus. Or is it going to be like, is it going to be in Africa? They're going to do something like that? I don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
Look, see,
What was
even
it?
kind of, like, that's the second person in the chat who forgot Leon was champ. Like, that's what I'm saying.
There'll be a trilogy.
He's such a forgettable champ. Like, it was great what he did to get the belt, but it's just so
Actually,
forgettable.
what am I talking about? Not a trilogy. A quadruple G.
You're not even listening.
Hold on. No, I fucked up because they fought already. It can't be a trilogy. It is a trilogy if they rematch. It's not, I forgot they fought the first time.
Yes. The first time Leon came in, but he
Yeah.
was, like, green when he came in and fought Usman the
There
first
won't be
time around.
there will be a trilogy because they're gonna have one more fight. Fucking A, man. Fried. So no, there won't be 4 fights, that's for sure. So yeah, so this one here, this one tells the tale. So you think this is gonna be kind of like a Poirier Conor type thing? So Leon gets the redemption on Usman, and Poirier gets the redemption on Conor, and then the third fight, Poirier looked great. Leon's gonna look even better in this third fight.
Yeah, I think Leon now has the tools that he needs to maintain that belt for a little while. Even against Usman again.
I'm still going to pick Kamaru. I think Kamaru's going to get done. I do. I don't even know. Why are we talking? Wait, how did we get moved over to Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman?
We were talking about who's your least favorite champ. Someone brought up Leon Edwards, and then it like
We got this shit
like,
going down.
whirlwinded into that.
Come on.
You make him lose the fight terribly inside of the cage. You make him spread his ass cheeks. Now you enter his backstage and you fill it with your rage. Come on, style bender, one fight. Izzy is inside Costa. Izzy is inside Costa.
How quick everyone forgets.
When Izzy said he'll drop him like Twin Towers, then said what as soon as he is a hater on America.
Oh God. Yeah, remember that when Izzy said I'll drop him like the Twin Towers?
Yeah, I remember that. Izzy,
You know what?
Izzy's had his fair share of controversial comments, but what fighter hasn't?
We ruined Izzy when we canceled him for dropped him like the Twin Towers, because then we got stuck with frozen like Elsa. So let's
now
go back.
Now he has to be sensitive.
Yeah, we did this to him. So everyone that is shitting on Israel Adesanya,
You fucking
Izzy,
pussies.
Izzy, I know you're a big fan of the show, okay? I know you watch every stream over here, but I feel for you, my man, because you had a good line with dropped him like the Twin Towers, and everyone wanted to cancel you, so you started painting your nails and said frozen like Elsa, and everyone shit on you for that too. You can't win, bud. You can't win, I guess. I don't know.
People hate success.
You can't win. Thank you, 206 Stoner. Fuck. It's messed up, man. Poor Izzy.
All right.
All right, let me look at this card and see if there's anything else that I need your opinion on. I pretty much said what I had to say on this thing.
Okay. So
But,
I gotta go edit my picks.
Why? What'd you do?
No, I gotta edit my picks takes for tomorrow.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, nothing really stands out. So the biggest underdog is Malcolm Gordon. That's the biggest one over here. Does anyone in the chat is anyone going to pick Malcolm Gordon in this thing? Like, I mean, he is on Mybookie, he is hold on a second. Like a massive underdog here. Where are you? Where are you, Malcolm? Did I pass him? Keep an eye out. I think I did pass him. There it is. He's a plus 671. Makhachev is a minus 1428. Oof. What do you think, Jess? Any value in Malcolm Gordon?
Shootsies. You know, can't remember who I picked here. I'm pretty sure I picked Makhachev.
Yeah, I think everyone did. But anyone in the chat, Canada versus the UK. Makhachev is a biggest favorite on the card. What do you say over here? And then we're going to wind this puppy down. By the way, tomorrow the stream is going to be live on this channel. If you would like to consume the press conference along with us, go check it out. Make sure you hit the like button over there and hit the like button over here as well.
Yes, sir. The Godfather says punked him, but it's is that how it's done? Not my style. He was loving it. Smoke him if you got him says I went chalk on this one. Josh Benedict says Muhammad 31-0, counting amateur. Astros are winning the fucking series, baby. Fuck the Mets, says JJ.
What does that have to do with the Mets? Hold on, JJ. What is that? You're just as bad as a Yankee fan. Like, what does that have to do with the Mets? By the way, the Padres are winning the whole thing. Just saying.
Mike Jackson picks Malcolm Gordon, says Tropic Tom. What you think about Media Day, says Smoke him if you got him. What do you think about Media Day, Moss?
I just listened to a little bit of Omalley. Actually, no, I'm wrong. I turned it right off with Charles.
I listened to the Charles
I turned it right
one.
off. I can't do it.
I actually liked it.
I like Charles. He's got to learn English. That's it.
He had a translator.
I can't do it. The scene with the freaking Eminem look, like the Slim Shady thing going on here with the whole group. Like, I'm done with it. Like, I like Charles Oliveira. I do. I actually do like Charles Oliveira. He's a very sweet guy, right? And he's a fucking beast at what he did at 155, and what he has a chance to do is solidify his legacy over here on Saturday. But there is, until he learns English, I'm good, man. I'm like give or take. I picked Charles Oliveira all the way up until this fight. I'm picking against him in this one. But I mean, great, nice guy, can't speak English, has the fucking Slim Shady crew behind him. I'm good. You listened to this whole thing? I turned it right off.
Yeah, I listened. Well, not the whole thing. I listened to like the first half of it, and then I had to.
I couldn't listen to it.
See you at 280, Charles, for the win. Thank you, Mos and Jesse.
Thank you. Thank you, Ludo. $5.
Baby.
Appreciate that. I don't know. Maybe, maybe I'm just being, I don't know, selfish that I want to speak English, but I can't. I don't care. Like, I don't want to listen to translators, man. Like Peter Yan, same thing. I like Peter Yan.
But you like Figueiredo, and he has a translator.
I do like Figueiredo, but you know what? I like Figueiredo? He looks like a fucking bad guy.
You like Weili Zhang, and she has a translator.
But she's funny. She's a fucking, she's funny. When she flipped off, when she did that when she was fighting Joanna, and she was doing the open workouts, and she did a somersault, and it was a girl with a Polish flag in front of her. Zhang Weili does his somersault and lands right before the Polish girl with the flag, and just goes like this. Just flips her the bird right in her face. And I'm like, I'm a fan. I can get into. Just fucking threw the finger up into Polak's face. I love it. And I'm part Polish. I have a little Polish in me as well. Nothing against Polish people. I just thought it's hilarious. So I like that. Maybe if Charles Oliveira... I don't like when Charles Oliveira gets in there and starts giving everyone hugs. His opponent hugs. Like, bro, you're about to fight, bro.
He has respect.
What is this? I know what you're doing.
He's trying to throw him off.
Yeah, it's silly. Come on, stop giving everyone hugs. Hug them after the fight. You're about to fucking fight. What is that?
Yeah.
Come on, let's cut it out. Cut this nut. What do you think? What does this look like to you, Jess?
Oh, it looks like a gangbang.
Yeah, it looks like they're all gonna fuck each other in the ass. All right, look at the way this guy's looking at him. Look at this guy over here.
I can't wait.
This is like his Dylan Dennis. Look at this guy. I need someone to look at me like this guy looks like a Charles Oliveira. I need someone to look at me like that. Jess, if you only looked at me like that, man.
Okay, ready?
Come on, give it to me. Give it to me right now. Be that guy. Who is that guy? Okay, did we do it? Did we get it? Did we get it? Did we pull it off?
All right.
Very nice.
What's next?
All righty. I think I'm done. I think I had enough. Did you put any news up or anything like that? Fuck the news. 280s is what it's all about. If we missed anything, drop it in the comment section down below. We'll be up bright and early. Last comments in the chat, and we out.
Must be on steroids. Is Big Fat Polly. Smoke him says movie smile stop.
Oh, there's Proud Babylonian. There he is.
Proud Babylonian says there's a very interesting history of racism in Brazil.
So this is the guy we hung out with on the Not the MMA-Holes channel. Proud Babylonian, let me know, how long have you been with this community? Because I was saying last night after the stream to the chat, well, after I was in your thing, that I've noticed that name for many years. Like, it's got to be like 5+ years I remember that name.
7 a.m. starting. That's right. Moss will never see the Mets touch gold. Okay. I don't know what that has to do with what we're talking about tonight.
Who's talking about this?
Have the space aliens landed yet? The space aliens? What are we talking about? Is it going over my head? Hot Yoga Babylonian for the win. Brazilians can't be racist. Brazil isn't a race. Wonderful, wonderful, says Art Dave. Pulse says Night Gang. And Space Bears rule according to Tropic Tom.
That is true.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be live bright and early in the morning tomorrow for the UFC 280 press conference. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you tune in live here. We're going to be playing the audio, so you'll be able to hear everything that's going on. Also, thank you to our sponsors, CBDX, Head Rush, Sheath Underwear, MyBookie.ag, and Undisputed Belts, and UFC on ESPN+. Thank you, Julian Lane, for coming on the show. And as always, don't be an a-hole, be an MMA hole.